No black hats, just straight facts.
Triple P certified.
Listen, we can talk about odds all day. It doesn't matter what the odds are. It matters what's gonna happen. Welcome once again to the Perfect Parlay Pursuit. It is a glorious day. It is a break week. There is no UFC this week, but we are giving you early predictions for UFC 302. Dustin Poirier versus Islam Makhachev. Guys, it's a big mega card. We got Paulo Costa, Sean Strickland. This is going to be a delightful breakdown. We're going to have so much fun doing this. We're all drinking. I made that mandatory this week. To even receive payment, you have to drink this week. That is perfect. That is a rule. So call HR. I don't give a fuck. And we're swearing on this episode. That's the other thing we're doing. We have a lot to talk about. We're going to recap last week's card. We had Lerone Murphy. We had Lerone Murphy. I got Leon Edwards on the brain because we got UFC Manchester coming up as well. We'll give a little teaser on that because we know no one else is giving you any content this week. We know everyone else is on vacation. We know everyone else is sitting. They took Memorial Day early, but the Perfect Parlay Pursuit would never leave you high and dry. We do an episode every single week, and here we are, even on a break week, to give you the full card, top to bottom, so you can get ahead of the lines because they're already out. UFC 302 in full effect. We're going to be breaking it down, main card and prelims. Prelims are back, baby. Prelims are back on YouTube. And if you want to get to support in the show, if you want to help us out in year five, super senior year, you get into the Patreon. That's where you get the open bet sheet. The open bet sheet that I put many dollars worth of winnings in last week for you. The open bet sheet that you click on and you get all of our picks, top to bottom, every pick we made. But then you also get 3 tabs that include the bets we make on the show. These bets, guys, this is I haven't shown this in a while, but it is only $9.99 a month, but it is $100 for the full year, which is less than $10 a month. $100 for the full year. If you don't have $100, you're a broke bitch. I just gave both of these guys $100 for literally no reason today. I give so we and that's true. That's a fact. I Venmoed them both $100 not even an hour ago. So we $100 isn't a lot of money. That's my point. Calculating for inflation, I'm actually losing money on this long term. So you need to get in there. You need to pay the $100 if you like the show. You owe it to us. It's for the full year. That's where you're going to get open bet sheet access. And if you were there last week, I'll show you. I'll share my screen even. I'll give you a little inside baseball into the open bet sheet. How you guys doing? How you doing, Dan? How you doing, Alex? Before I show them the open bet sheet, let's check in with the other 2 people in the show. I sometimes forget. I love myself and my voice so much that I forget that I have 2 other people sitting here. Alex, what's going on, my brother? I see your total has declined to under 1,000. So for those of you who don't know, we started a new competition in year 5, $1,000 to a $1,000,000,000, a drill wrap amount of dollars, a $1,000,000,000. We're going to do 1,000 to a $1,000,000,000 competition. Basically, we all started the year with 1,000. Dan, how much money are you down to? I know you're.
I am down 166. If my math is correct, that would be $834. I'm going to type that in right now.
I got you. Don't worry. So yeah, you went from the king to the peasant. Look at you. You had the king's crown at the end of year 4, and now the pauper has become the prince. Who finished in 3rd place at the end of year 4, with some statistics that everybody on the show has always exceeded 50% year over year. But we competed as we always do. Dan, Alex, they bested me in year 4, but now in year 5, where we have a new competition, which is we each loaded $1,000 into our sports book accounts, and the goal is to obviously not lose your 1,000, but to turn it into as much as you can by the end of the year. And whoever has the most money gets 50% of the other 2's amount, unless they lose all 1,000, in which case they have to immediately pay whoever is left in the competition $100. So Alex, Dan, if they hit 0, if Alex hits 0, for example, he has to give me and Dan both 100. So the 3rd place person is shelling out $300 when all is said and done. The 2nd place person is shelling out $100 to the winner, and the winner is going to be receiving essentially $400 all in all from the other 2, just for not losing the 1,000. But if we make it to the end of year 5 and we all have money in our accounts, the 1st place person taxes the other 2 50% of whatever's left in their account. So say I have 10,000, Dan has 5, Alex has 2. I get 1,000 from Alex. I get 2.5 from Dan, and we all go home happy. So this is year 5. This is the competition. There's 2 other caveats. If you hit 0, you're only allowed to bet a Triple B certified pick or your perfect parlay. And these are incentives to keep us gambling hard. This is sort of like a marathon style year where we are doing this to get better. We're doing this to be more disciplined, doing this to be more tight, doing this. And as you can see, I'm thriving. So I'm up 2,036.83. I have doubled my money in just 2 events. Let's talk about how it was done. So if you watched last week's episode, you obviously you figured out how I got from, what are we doing here? Can you see my screen? Yeah. Okay. So, this is how I was able to get it done. These bets were in the open bets sheet. I was able to get, most of my winnings this week from a bet I hated to see unfold. It was Angela Hill by submission. As you can see, I had these two big ones, right? I had Pinero in 2 of my most confident parlays. So this was 100 to win 628. And as you can see, these 2 both won. And this was 333 for 47.54. Williams and Murphy, Pinero, the only one to lose there. So once Ali Alatang won on this one, I pretty much knew Pinero was going to fucking lose. Because I was like, all right, like, women fighters, they disappoint all the time. They're super disappointing. Even when they have like a 10-year age advantage, they still somehow don't win. So I was like, she's going to lose. I just know it. I started eating cold feet. So I said, well, how is she going to lose? And I started to think about Angela Hill's last few fights and how she's been like super committed to getting better at grappling. And even though she's a striker, like she's a Thai fighter, I was like, she's going to submit Pinero. So I don't know why I did it, but I placed a $30 bet. When I saw she was 26-1 to win by sub, I placed a $30 bet to win 810. I'm watching the fight, right? And then I go upstairs to change my daughter's diaper because I don't care about this fight at all. Normally I would pass that obligation, that responsibility, that joy of changing her diaper off to someone else if it was a fight I cared about. But I didn't care about this one, so I changed it my dang self. And I was able to go upstairs. I came back down. I'm like, I see Angela Hill getting interviewed. I'm like, Pinero, you fucking suck, man. How the fuck are you gonna? I'm all pissed off. And then I see them show the replay, and she's getting topside guillotine or something. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, how the fuck did I do that? That was me stepping in complete dog shit. Like I did not. I mean, I don't even. That was, and when I saw, I was like, okay, Angela Hill by decision, obviously. Angela Hill by knockout, okay. Angela Hill by submission, 26-1. I was like, it's almost like they're hiding the correct outcome. Hey, you don't want none of this. This is crazy. This will never happen, right? Maybe bet $1. I'm like, how about 30? Essentially that was a break-even play because I had won about $800 off my initial $1,000 deposit, so I was up to about like $1,800. So I was prepared to lose all $800 and get back down to $1,000 on the second event of the year. I also looked at the top 2 fights, Kaylin Chaos Williams and Lerone Murphy, as like pretty confident ones. So I was like, even if I go down a lot early, I'll just win it back on those 2. But yeah, so really crazy that both of those bets would have won if she didn't win, but I still managed to break even on a hedge with Angela Hill by sub. That was genius of me. I won on Chaos Williams with a little bit of profit, threw 130 on him to win 100. And then
that's genius. That's a little shotgun method for you. The shotgun method works. All right, you took that from my playbook, and it worked out for you.
It's not a shotgun method.
You sprayed it a little bit out there.
But none of my parlays were bigger than 6, besides my perfect parlay. Most of them were 3 or 4. And of the 3 and 4, I mean, damn, I had a lot that I had a real opportunity for some big money in a lot of these because a lot of them were just one fight off. The 5, the 6, 3, the 4, pretty much everyone were just one fight off. What I will say though, you got robbed with Ducati. I really thought she did beat Vanessa Demopoulos.
She sure did. She ended up in mounting her at the end in a round that she was winning even previous to that moment. I'm trying to remember like exactly what was going on, but whether it was round 1 or 2, one of those she definitely won, was landing the bigger strikes. The judges were swayed by the aggression that Demopoulos was. She's really charging forward and throwing hard. She was getting countered like left and right here. Big shots thrown by Ducati landed. I don't know. Seemed relatively clear to me. Even when it was called a split, judge this, judge that. It was like, they'll give it to Ducote, whatever it is, they'll be fine. Couldn't believe it. Really sunk all my battleships. I was not planning I was hoping to do a nice little
One of minus 300 women's favorite. One of
Shut the
minus
hell up,
300
both of you.
women's favorite.
Shut the hell up, both of you. You
He
just
was
said
talking
that
so much shit on me before the fucking fight started, guys. And when that happened, I went right to his open bet sheet and I put a fucking red line through all of them for him. I did it for him.
Oh,
I was
yeah,
like,
you sure
hey.
did. Sure did. Listen. Now that I have a little bit of open mic time here, the plan is still going according to plan. Luke, how much did you bet? What, like $1,000 of your allotment there?
Since I let all the audience know exactly how much I'm betting to the red cent, I can tell you I bet $770.
Ridiculous. So dumb. Very, very dumb. You should not be betting in a competition like this that lasts an entire year. It's going to go to May 8th of 2025, and you're betting $700 of, okay, now you have, what, 2,000 and change, but next week, I'm sure you're going to bet another 700, and then a 700 after that.
Well, I'm going to bet way more next week.
You're high in your own supply, my friend.
Everything next week. Let me tell you one thing, though. So I actually did win more, though. You guys might say, oh, so you bet 770, you only won 300. No, I won a lot more than that because I had Usyk and Murphy in a parlay, but these boys made me, this was a $250 bet to pay $901. These boys made me recalibrate. They made me recalibrate my bet, basically. I'll be right back. They made me recalibrate. So no, basically they wouldn't let me count Usyk as part of the parlay.
Yeah,
because
makes
he's not
sense.
a UFC fighter.
The UFC fucking.
Yeah.
The whole parlay doesn't.
I thought you guys would give me that one. I mean, it's
the whole parlay doesn't.
That's insane. What do you mean give you that? What?
But what do you mean?
I
knew Usyk was going to beat the best boxer of the heavyweight. Which, by the way, for Usyk to be an underdog, when we just saw Tyson Fury lose, or at least keep it pretty fucking close to Francis Ngannou, and then if you needed any clarification, Anthony Joshua goes out there and knocks him out 5 times. It's like, okay, Tyson Fury has clearly slipped. If Anthony, guys, it's like, think about it. If Anthony Joshua can do this and Tyson cannot, that puts Anthony Joshua here. He's not that good. He lost to Ruiz. You know what I mean? And he lost to Usyk twice. It's like, do the math. It was so obvious.
Boxing math.
What? Yeah,
boxing math.
It was a close fight, but I didn't even watch the fight. I didn't need to watch the fight because I just saw Usyk was the underdog. I said,
Luke, define recalibrate that.
He took Usyk out of the parlay, and then he took what would have been the winnings from just Murphy.
The odds for Murphy, and I said, I looked at the odds for what Murphy was, and I said, what would it be if I bet 250 on just him?
No.
It's a little fugazi because you wouldn't have made the bet. Well, hold on. I'm letting it happen. It's a little fugazi, however, and this is my good graces coming to play, because you wouldn't have made the bet if you didn't have the extra juice of Usyk in it. So, in other words, you wouldn't have just played Murphy. Which you did also do, I think. You also had just a Murphy play.
No, I didn't. But what I did do
maybe
was
not, but...
I did hedge on Barbosa. I bet 140 for 341.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I saw him taking a beating early on. So I cashed out, and I alerted the open bet sheet that I cashed out.
Yeah, no, I saw that.
I took a $4 loss on my $140 bet, which was happy to do. Happy to do it because I saw he was getting his ass whooped, and they only had reduced it by a little bit. It was like at the end of round 1 or maybe round 2. I take the money, and then it just compounds from there. And the odds were crazy. I could have bet $10 on Barbosa to win 1,000 at that point after I cashed out my 140.
Right.
Yeah. And I still didn't. And I still fucking didn't because, dude, he took like 60 head strikes and landed 10, I think, in round 4.
Yeah, he got
no head movement. No head movement. Barbosa's never had any head movement. I don't know how more people haven't figured it out. Like, just jab him to fucking death.
Yeah.
But anyway, any other fights we want to talk about from last week's card? I know we kind of kept it a lot to do with the competition. We didn't really talk too much about.
Barbosa lost me my bet. I had a couple bets left. I would have came out on top. Probably would have had just about a little bit less money than Luke in the bank, just as I did the week before. But wasn't able to get it done. All I had left was Edson Barbosa. I'm going to hedge from here on out every single time. If I'm going into the last fight, I'm going to make a hedge play regardless of the situation. So I am going to make myself
Garumbo, Yanez, and Magomedov. That was the one you had still going?
I think so.
Yeah. Yep.
So
and you also had Garimbo, Williams, and Barbosa, 125 for
yes,
829.
yes.
Yeah. You should have hedged or cashed out. Barbosa was going to lose that. He's old. He's old man. You said all you had to do was look at Sadiq Youssef and Leroy Murphy, and you had to say, okay, whose head is still in the game? I mean, it's so obvious that Sadiq Youssef's head is outside of the game because he is.
Hey,
he's having success, and that's why I got to look at Moicano. If Moicano wasn't so dang greedy, then I would look at him as somebody who to fade because he's getting more and more popular, which means the caliber of opponent's going to keep going up, and as the caliber opponent goes up, and his popularity on YouTube goes up, and he's making more money from outside the UFC, he has less of incentive to train hard for the UFC fights and more of an incentive to put time into the YouTube and have meetings about YouTube and sponsors and YouTube and sponsors. And all of a sudden he's making 1.1 million outside of the, you know what I mean? Outside of the fight, outside of the cage. You can't have these guys making money outside of the cage. You got to read the leaked emails if you want to know more, but you got to have leverage. You got to have tight control over these athletes. I don't know why people are always like all these nerds who literally work a 9 to 5 all day like literally wage slaves whose lives are miserable are out here like, we need to give these millionaires more money and more fucking freedom and more everything. It's like, can you stop projecting what you want for yourself onto the people you see on TV? There's like 5 of them, guys. There's like 5 of them. Why don't you make their lives more like yours? Why don't you say, I want their employer to have more control over them because I can't even make an off-color joke or smoke pot at my job without being fired the next day. And these guys are smoking pot, beating people up, and working 3 times a year for an infinity amount of money more than me. So, I don't know.
And a lot less time.
I have no empathy for them. I cannot put myself...
And a lot less time spent at the job,
And Alex, like, talk about how so many of us would go in there and do it for less. Would go in there. I would go in there with bells on. If you gave me an opportunity
to do that.
What do you? No, I'm saying I'm saying with bells on. I would be so happy. Like if you said, Luke, we'll give you Bryce Mitchell. You know what I mean? Or like a fight that's like not
the worst case scenario is you get submitted. You tap.
Like I would never tap. Like that's what I'm trying to say is that like I'm a guy off the couch. You make a wish me into there with Bryce Mitchell. Not only am I competitive, not only do I probably win, but I never in a million years tap. I do it for half the price. Am I going to tap if he's got my if he's going to be a pussy and go for my legs? Yes, I'm tapping. You know what I mean? You guys already know my stance on leg locks. It's like, all right, maybe you don't know my stance on leg locks. Before we get into next week's card, UFC 302, I'll tell you my stance on leg locks real quick. Martial arts is all about philosophy, okay? The art of war. Sun Tzu. Philosophy. Think about it from that perspective.
Sun who?
Sun Tzu. Sun Tzu.
Who's
Sun Tzu. You need
who's
Sun
on
Tzu.
Who's on third?
Like Booker T. Washington, Sun Tzu.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sun Tzu, he says, fight your enemy where he is not. Think about that. The most powerful element in the art of war is the element of surprise. Okay. So that's the most powerful element. But in a civil society, you are not trying to vanquish your enemy necessarily with the most powerful element, right? That's it. The element of surprise. Hey, yeah, sucker punch your enemy, kill him in his bed, poison him, But that's not what we're doing. If you're in civil society, if you're at a music festival, if you're at a bar, if you're at a football game, and you get into a altercation with somebody, you don't want to have to vanquish them with an atomic bomb. You don't want to have to, go to jail for the rest of your life. You want to be able to settle the dispute respectfully as gentlemen and civilly, right? With minimal damage, right? So if you're doing jiu-jitsu, the gentle art, your goal should be, I'm going to choke this guy out. He's going to wake up. I'm going to be 15 minutes down the road, and he's going to have a nice little dopamine rush from getting choked out. The good old choking game. He's going to feel great, and he won't even remember what happened, and nobody had to get hurt, right? Maybe if you're Henzo, you give him a little raccoon eyes, punch him in the nose, give him a little, you pee on him, whatever you want to do. I'm just saying, but nobody has to get hurt that bad, right? Same guy comes up to me, gets my leg. And not to mention, I choke you. This is the most important thing. We're at a football game, Broncos, Steelers. We get into a little scrap. I choke you out. You're still showing up to work on Monday morning. Nothing happened. I break your leg, I break your kneecap, I bust your ankle, you're not going to work the next day, and you're probably going to show up to my job with a shotgun because I maimed you, and you're going to blow my head off. So in a civil society, you shouldn't be maiming people. You shouldn't be dealing out irreparable. I mean, like that's like when they cut Jamie Lannister.
No, if you get into a street fight, you should not do any jiu-jitsu at all whatsoever because you don't know how many friends they have. And guess what? Now your arms are tied up. Get the fuck out of there. Hit them with the quickest 1-2 in the world and the fastest 40-yard dash you've ever seen and get the fuck out of there.
Not financial advice, seriously. But no, what I'm trying to say is in the philosophy of jiu-jitsu, I much prefer, getting somebody in a rear naked choke, putting them to sleep, maybe even a little arm bar, break their arm, a little pop out, little, hey, no big deal, pop it back in. But you don't rip somebody's leg apart, make them not be able to work, make them not be able to throw the football with their son the next day, right? You do that, you're making an enemy for life.
You can throw a football from a wheelchair. You can't throw a football with a broken arm, though.
And Nico Machiavelli said, do not take revenge, but if you must, take revenge so swiftly and so ferociously that the vengeance of that man shall not be feared by you. Or something like that. So my point is, you break somebody's leg, they're going to come back and they're not going to want to be waiting for round 3. You know what I mean? They're going to probably come settle it in round 2. So all you jiu-jitsu guys getting on your back and rolling around. I'm with Aljamain Sterling. You're a bunch of punks. And I'm going to get myself in trouble. But we're all drinking on this episode. Nothing we say here matters or is true. We're all characters and don't exist. Everything you see here is akin to a horror movie. It's like Freddy Krueger or Robert De Niro, old Sheldon. That's the story, right? I mean, let's see. Let's see the results. Chaos Williams is my hero. I fucking love that man. Like, genuinely, the guy in that division. I mean, his fight with Michelle Pereira, right? I mean, like, somebody I love is Chaos Williams. Somebody who I just want to fucking hug and say, you're one of the good ones. You're one of the guys in the division that fights the hardest and doesn't disappoint from a betting standpoint, right? Like, you never let me down from a betting standpoint. Themba Garimbo didn't like his post-fight speech, especially after what's his name, Bilal Muhammad posted. You see what Bilal Muhammad posted?
What did he post?
He said, yeah, don't you hate those online trolls who talk shit? And then he sent a DM that Themba had sent him that was like, it was a picture of like Bilal with like somebody else. And he was like, he's a real champion. You're not. Like him literally DM trolling Bilal Muhammad. Makes me feel better about when I do it. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, Themba's doing it. I'm like, if Themba's doing it, I can do it. He's got like 2 fights in the UFC. I just love when Alex says Themba. Dude, you saying Themba? Say it one more time.
Themba.
Nah, it wasn't as good.
It wasn't as good. No.
I was burping when you asked.
I want The Rock to say it.
Themba.
A little better.
I like my version of that is Darren Till saying Ariel Helwani's first name. Okay, so it goes a little something like this. Ariel. No, that wasn't good. Hold on. Ariel. He goes, Ariel. Dude, there's 2 voices that I can hear in my head perfectly, but when I go to do them, it doesn't come out how I want it to. And one is Tom Aspinall's voice. I feel in my head that I can do a perfect Tom Aspinall, but every time I try to do a Tom Aspinall, dude, it's like I'm like, don't like it sounds like I am him in my head, but I cannot deliver it. It's like, John Jones, you always John Jones. I'm not going to do what you want me to do. I know it sounds nothing like him, but in my head, I have his voice perfect.
Not bad.
But Darren Till, the Scouser, he's like, Ariel. The thing is, Ariel. The thing is, Ariel. I can all day in my head, like Tourette's. It's Darren Till saying, Ariel. And I just at my desk, I'm like, Ariel. I have to say it like every 45 minutes. And Tom Aspinall, man, this guy lost to Curtis Blades. I picked Curtis Blades. Curtis Blades beat him fair and square. Do you guys think about how he couldn't even? Are you okay, Dan? Are you distracted?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm watching my dog just like attack someone.
I'll just talk to the
out my window.
Do you guys remember, like Tom Aspinall, was that a main event headlined in his home country of
The Cursed Blades fight?
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw that together. It was the main
And it
event.
was midday. Yeah, right. And it was in London. It was midday.
Yeah.
And he just disappointed. Was there a live audience in attendance or no?
Yes.
Yeah. Dude, he disappointed everybody. He couldn't even hold up. He was like wincing and yelling and crying. And now this man wants to come at fucking John Jones. Guys, you know we like MMA Guru on this channel. But when it comes to the John Jones, Tom Aspinall things, we're taking a firm breakaway. We're breaking away from MMA Guru like Pangea. And we are not on his side with this. We are Americans. This is the USA. We do not fucking listen to slander from across the pond about our champion, our greatest of all time fighter, John Jones.
Luke, stop talking about our sister show, the MMA Guru Hour.
I'm just trying to say that I don't care how big MMA Guru gets for his britches. At the end of the day, John Jones doesn't need to pay attention to Tom Aspinall. Like Tom Aspinall has had one fight with one guy ever. Like Sergey Pavlovich. That's the only fight. He lost to Curtis Blades. Couldn't even hold up. Like, not only did he lose to Curtis Blades, who got knocked out by fucking Derek Lewis. He lost here. Not only should he need to avenge that loss to Curtis Blades before we can ever consider him talking about John Jones, but it's like you didn't even just lose to Curtis Blades. You got finished by Curtis Blades. Your body
15 seconds.
Oh, stop it.
Your body couldn't
He
even
kicked him on a check and broke his
for
leg.
for a minute. For you and Curtis Blades, you both went in. Whatever happened. You were on the ground crying. Curtis Blades wasn't. That's the reality, Tom. There's no such thing as a fluke. Everything that happens.
Give a preview pick. Fights re-happening in July.
Curtis Blades.
Curtis Blades?
Smash him. He won't. He will lose. No. Aspinall will win. But what I like that, Aspinall will win. But I'm picking Curtis Blades and I'm riding with Curtis Blades and I hope Curtis Blades wins. I personally think that Aspinall is too hearty and can take Curtis's best shot, and I don't think Curtis can take his best shot at this stage in the game, just from sheer wear and tear over the years. I mean, Curtis Blades has been knocked out.
You just said that he folded physically. That was your whole thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But listen, Curtis Blades.
Now you're saying he's hearty.
He's hearty. Yes, he's hearty, Dan. Hey, shut up. You're not getting it. Yes, he could.
I don't think I get it.
Just because you're hearty doesn't change. That's like saying this guy's a genius, but he showed up to the SAT and for some reason on that day, like shit his pants and like didn't even fill out one answer to one question. And then you still want me to call him a genius. I'm like, I'm just like saying like he showed up to the SAT and he didn't fill out the answer to one question. He shit himself and ran away and cried. And you're like, well, he's a genius. And I'm like, that's fair enough. But in terms of competitive geniusness, he has not shown that. So what I'm trying to say is Curtis Blades, this time around, he's been knocked out twice by Ngannou. He's been knocked out by fucking Derek Lewis. His chin has taken too much damage. So Aspinall, his chin hasn't taken as much damage. So if they did power slap against each other, Aspinall would win. In the heavyweight division, every fight is pretty much a power slap fight. So they're going to do power slap, and Aspinall is going to win, just like he did with Sergey. But I think Curtis Blades should win, can win, and I hope he wins, because how I think he can win is that the fight is taking place catered to the American audience. So for Tom, he's going to have to fight at like 3:19 a.m. or like 4:15 a.m. You know what I mean? It's going to be a terrible situation. And let's say he tries to calibrate his body to that time. So all throughout camp, he's training at this unorthodox time.
I think it starts at 3 a.m. I don't think it ends at 3 a.m. I think it starts at 3 a.m.
Yeah. So the main guard. So, okay. So Tom will fight at like 6 a.m. or something. Imagine this, right? Imagine your whole...
Yeah.
If it starts at 6 a.m., that's
actually easier for Tom because he's probably used to training for fighting for the American time. Yeah.
Waking up early. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like,
I mean,
I never shy away from an early morning.
like you're like a John Redcorn. You sound like John Redcorn.
All right, so that's the card like 6 months from now. How about this card coming up?
All right. So we had a great week. I love all you guys. I appreciate all you guys. You're the best. You're the best people. Last week's card is dead. Next week's card is upon us. It's going to take place June 1st. Depend on me like the 1st and 15th. That's payday, baby. And I'm going to bet a lot of money on this card because there's one bet in particular that I feel most of all. I feel this bet. I feel it. I feel the power. I feel it.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I know what you're going for. It's not going to happen.
Talk about it. But since we're doing main card and prelims, I think since we need to kind of warm up a little bit, we should start with we should do a little
bottom to top action.
Bottom to top. I think we should do a little bottom to top for everybody here this week. So,
all right.
We'll be getting to Islam Makhachev, Dustin Poirier. We'll be getting to Sean Strickland, Paulo Costa. We'll be getting to Kevin Holland versus Lord. We'll be getting to Johnson Almeida versus Alexander Romanov. We'll be getting to Randy Brown versus Eliza Zaleski. I'm going to keep going until I find a fight I don't want to watch. Roman Kopylov versus Cesar Almeida. Damn. Love Roman Kopylov. We got Grant Dawson versus Joe Selecki. We got Phil Rowe. Go watch the episode we did with Joe Selecki a few weeks ago. We got Phil Rowe versus Jake Matthews. I don't really give a fuck about that fight. Nico Price, Alex Morono. A fight that one has to wonder, has this fight happened an infinite amount of times? Nico Price versus Alex Morono. Has this fight happened an infinite amount of times? Like, these are two guys, I feel like during the pandemic, they fought 45 times each. They fought every weekend, I feel like, both of them. And then another fight. We got Mickey Gall versus Bazel Hafez. Then we got Jocelyn Edwards versus Aline Perez. Eileen, Twerkleen, Charlene.
Did you see Paulo Costa's comment on her picture?
No, what did he say?
She had a huge camel toe, and he said, those lips.
Well, I'll tell you what. Somebody asked her, about her OnlyFans. And what's interesting is that when people hear that somebody has an OnlyFans, they immediately assume that they're on OnlyFans, like doing sexual pornography. But a lot of the fighters who have OnlyFans just put
bikini pics.
No.
Justin Gaethje has an OnlyFans, and I hear he's like jerking off and stuff. Like, this is what I hear. Yeah, he has an OnlyFans, dude. He
Sign me up.
Well, I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe we should do some investigative journalism into that. But what I'm trying to say is I think a lot of them just are putting their techniques and stuff and also just using it as a way of kind of like a Patreon.
Techniques? What?
They're fighting techniques. Because OnlyFans...
No, I know, but...
Ever since the roast of... I think, remember the roast of Whitney Cummings or Burt Kreischer or somebody who was on OnlyFans?
I don't know.
Yeah, I just remember hearing about this, but there was a roast of some comedian on OnlyFans, and I remember at that moment, from a business standpoint, OnlyFans was we're trying to get away from only adult content and branch off into everybody. But I'm serious, dude, we should probably maybe just do OnlyFans instead of Patreon. Why, just do OnlyFans? You got to look into the nuts and bolts of it, see what the fees are and stuff. But think about it: if we did OnlyFans instead of Patreon, what we do is for our fucking boys who watch the show. Now they get to subscribe to our OnlyFans, and when their girl is like, "Why are you on OnlyFans?" Fucking the fucking parlay pursuit. I have to have it to get the picks for the boys. I got to the boys. So now
it's a nice little portal for them. It's a portal.
Now you got the username, you got the password, you got the money in the fucking.
You got everything you need.
Yep. No worries. You got a reason to be there. You got a reason to be there. That's all you need. A reason to be there, baby. That's like a strip club next to a.
And for the ladies, we can go tarps off for the OnlyFans app. For all the lady listeners.
Ladies. I like it.
I'll do whatever you want on OnlyFans.
So
I'll kiss Alec. He's my brother. I'll kiss.
No, you won't. No, you will not.
You
Sir.
won't be able to stop me, baby.
I can certainly.
I'm better than you at wrestling and jiu-jitsu. I will just hold you down and I will kiss you on OnlyFans.
You're not better than me at wrestling or jiu-jitsu, and you're not athletic.
All right,
and
all right. Then let's have a special rules match.
Okay, we'll have a special rules mouth. If I kiss you on the mouth, it's over.
It'll be an eye kiss match. I want to have an eye kiss match with you. And if I kiss you on your lips, then you have to be my boyfriend for 6 months.
Gary Machado, man. What a guy.
It's fine. all right. Michelle Waterson Gomez was supposed to take on Jillian Robertson on this card. We'll all be sad to miss that one. But Johnson Almeida was originally supposed to fight Alexander Volkov. Now he fights Alexander Romanov. So that'll be interesting. We also have Roman Dolidze was supposed to fight Anthony Hernandez. Anthony Hernandez pulled out with a hand injury. That would have been a banger of a fight.
Woo, that'd been great.
Oh, yeah, but hey, who can complain? This is a really great card. Nico Price was originally supposed to fight Jeremiah Wells, and Morono steps in. Morono's a stay-ready type of guy. It doesn't really matter to me that he's doing that. We were supposed to have Sumadurji, the Tibetan Eagle, versus Joshua Van, your guy's boy. Then we were supposed to have Tatsuyo Taira versus Joshua Van. I remember seeing that one on here. That's been rebooked. So, and then there was that guy whose name Bruce Buffer's never going to be able to pronounce, Niam Jargol to Mendembril.
Oh, yeah. And then there's this guy, Joe motherfucking Selecki on the card, about to throw down against who we prescribed for him to fight, Grant Dawson.
Yeah, we did. We did do that, didn't we? Okay, so now we have to move on to the card that we will now be breaking down for you, and we will get to those fights that we talked about. But first, let's do the fight that we care about the least, obviously. We're going to start with Andre Lima versus Mitch Raposo. And let's go through this whole card with a fine-tooth comb for our fucking amazing audience. Alex, I'm prescribing timestamps. You're doing timestamps. This is a break week. Let's give the people what they want.
Nope.
Oh, all right, fine. 36-20. We're talking about Mitch Raposo versus Andre Lima. Mascate. He's no mascot, though. 25 years old versus 25 years old. Two young studs. 5'7" Andre Lima versus 5'5" Mitch Raposo. Mitch Raposo 9-1 record. Andre Lima 8-0 record. Lima going to be a little taller, going to have a little bit more of a reach team. And Mitch Raposo, he's coming out of the favorite gym of this podcast, the New England Cartel, where they say head movement and striking defense need not apply. Leave that at the door. And we're going to teach you how to be a punching bag. A good old-fashioned Boston punching bag. You want to learn how to eat 250 strikes in a fight you won? Come into the New England Cartel. The New England Cartel is a gym that I have no respect for, and I challenged Tyson Chartier to a celebrity boxing match. I'd really love to just do celebrity bare knuckle boxing, because I think, I think he needs a taste of his own medicine. I think he needs to feel what he's sending his boys in there to do every day. And if he wants me to land 300 bare knuckle strikes on his fucking dome piece, under the unified rules, of course. Shit, Tyson Pedro.
Tyson Pedro, you don't want any of that smoke.
Tyson Forte,
Tyson Chartier.
You should be ashamed of yourself. You don't send these guys in there equipped to defend themselves. They get the shit beat out of them. They get years taken off their lives under your watch. And there's a reason that. So I'm rolling with my boy Andre Lima to beat the fuck out of Mitch Raposo. Andre Lima by decision. Andre Lima landing 170 strikes over the course of 3 rounds to Mitch Raposo's head. Mitch Raposo driving a bus, wearing Velcro shoes, thanks to Tyson Chartier in 10 years. I'm going with Mitch Raposo. Oh, no, Andre Lima. Yeah, so I'm from Fall River. You don't say that, dude. I've never been to Boston. I never will be coming to Boston ever. And you guys won't be living in Boston either, because it's way too expensive and you're way too dumb. So
I don't give a fuck.
I'm Bangkok ready, baby. Tyson Chartier, do not come to New Jersey.
Bangkok ready.
Yeah.
Unless you sign the contract.
I'll say this. Mitch Raposo from Fall River, Massachusetts. Who else is from Fall River? One Mr. Chris Herron. All right. And I think the same rules and the same lifestyle apply. I think at one point in time, Mitch Raposo, he went into a dormitory. He saw a couple girls, saw a couple lines of cocaine. Next thing he knows, he wakes up. Doctor says, homeboy, you've been dead for 30 seconds. Guess what, though? He don't matter. He don't matter at all, okay? He's going to go into that octagon. He's going to be working. He's going to be working Chris Lima, whatever his name is. Andre Lima.
I walk in. My roommate says, let me introduce you to a little something called Oxycontin. Go. Shout out to Chris Herron. Shout out to Unguarded 30 for 30. Best 30 for 30 there is.
All-timer.
of all time. Chris Herron.
Injected in his asshole.
I'm kidding.
No.
It was pills. You better
Yeah,
know.
Andre Lima all day. Could be working my boy from Fall River, but you know what? He's Fall River tough. He's gonna go all 3 rounds. So if you're so inclined, maybe Andre Lima by decision.
Wake up in an ambulance, says, "Homeboy, you've been dead for 30 seconds." Yeah. Can you imagine? I'm 15 minutes from ripping away my breakaway shorts at my first game at the Boston Garden. And I'm trying to score heroin outside the stadium.
Alcohol's pretty good.
Wow, that's
You gotta watch
interesting.
on Gar-
I'm more of a
you gotta
Len
watch on
bias
Parlay.
guy. I like my guys not able to live to tell the tale.
Whoa!
Fight for my life.
Jokes. Just kidding. Love Len bias. Love whoever this Danny Heron guy is.
Chris Herron, shut the fuck up.
Chris Heron, Chris Pine. I don't know the difference. Andre Lima versus Mitch Raposo. Guys, I'm going Andre Lima here. Triple P certify him. Main reason this is his 3rd opponent on the night. He was scheduled 3. This is the 3rd time he was scheduled for this night. He's been ready for it. Mitch Raposo, Boston, dumbass. If you saw him on The Ultimate Fighter, he was not very good. He was not very good at all. He was actually the 1st overall pick that season, I believe, and he got schooled by an absolute moron. So I'm going with Andre Lima. This is the guy who got bit. Bitegate. He was doing really well in that fight before he got bit, and I think he's going to win this one. Andre Lima. Next up, we got Jocelyn Edwards versus Aline Perez. You know, I like both of these fighters. I don't really know whether to make heads or tails of this one. I'm not really going to be too passionate on it just because, you know, it's a ladies' fight, so why would I? But I'm going to go with Aline Perez on this one. I just think she's going to get in there. She's going to be able to twerk again. Dan, what do you think about this one?
Jeez.
Never mind. Give me Edwards, dude. I didn't realize Perez was the favorite. I thought she'd be the doggy again. She ain't gonna be doing no twerk and poha.
It's one of those things. Like, you got Jocelyn Edwards. I feel like she's a little bit more of the polished striker, a little bit longer, got that reach advantage. But I feel like Perez hits a little bit harder, a little bit more aggressive as well. But then you're banking on a lady knockout, which, granted, it's at 135. You know, it's pretty much as heavy as you could go, so it's possible. I'm gonna go with Perez. I'm going with Perez here. I think Edwards is she doesn't have enough sting behind her punches to actually, you know, keep her opponent at bay here. I think Edwards is going to be charging, Perez is going to be charging forward and landing the more damaging strikes. I got to learn from last week, right? Got to learn from last week. We got Vanessa Demopoulos. All she did was charge forward. I think she's going to land less than what Perez is going to land. So with that being said, give me a Perez here.
Strippers.
Whatever. Not crazy confident, but that's the pick.
I'll go with Lapa and Terra as well. I think Perez is going to win, but I generally try to do the opposite of what I think with these fights. And, you know, it paid off for me with the Angela Hill by submission type of thing, right? Like, that would be a fight where I would clearly go, like, Angela Hill's going to lose because she's old. And I've picked against Angela Hill in every single fight she's ever had. So I've been wrong way more than I've been right. I'm not going to pick in the ladies' fights. I don't really want to. I'm old school. I'm old fashioned. I don't really like to see the lady fights. But, you know, that's just me. You know, when Aline Perez, when she does her twerking dances, I'd much rather see her, you know, displaying her beauty, dancing, versus, you know, versus getting punched. It breaks my heart when I see her get hit. I just want to protect her. I want to jump in there and separate the ladies and say, ladies, there's plenty of Luke to go around. No need to fight over me. Come here. You know, but no, I'm kidding. These girls are great and their skills are fantastic. This is just a character I play. I love the lady fights. One of my favorite fighters is a lady fighter named Sarah Blanchfield from New Jersey.
God, man, woman, dog.
is just a character. It's like Andy Kaufman. It's just a character. Okay, so Aline Perez is not going to be my pick just because I don't like the odds. I do think she's going to win, but I think anything can happen when you get these ladies in there. So, give me Jocelyn Edwards but really give me Aline Perez. But really, I'm not going to bet on it. So now we can finally talk about the fights we want to see and we want to watch and we're going to get excited for. Are you guys ready for UFC 302? UFC 302, guys, listen. You're looking at somebody who's doubled his money over the last 2 weeks. I've shown you it's possible. I've said, hey, okay, hey, no more. I said, hey, no more nonsense. I said, let's put $1,000 on the table and let's see what we can do with it. And what do you know? Look at that number, 2036. So I could take $36, right? And I could go to Wendy's. I could go to Taco Bell, and that's it. Actually, with inflation and how sad America's economy is right now, that's actually all I could do. And honestly, it's going to be tight to get Taco Bell and Wendy's for $36.82, $83. It's going to be tight to get what I get, to get what I want. It's going to be $15 at Taco Bell. It's going to be no, we can do it. We could do it. But it's just me eating. What I'm trying to say, guys, is I could take $36 and still have doubled my money. You know what I mean? So things are good in Luke land. Things are sad and bad in Alex and Dan land. They are down money. They really need to even just get back above water. Like when you're not above 1,000, you're holding your breath. Like if I were them, my heart, my chest, it would be tight right now because I'd be like, please, just Dana White, give me one fight to bet on so I can get above water to breathe again.
Bro, I have great lungs. I have tremendous lungs. I could hold this all day, all night. Okay? Don't even worry about that.
I'm going to fucking bet all 2,000 next week.
Oh, please.
I'm going to bet.
Please do so.
And when I have fucking 4,000.
Let us know which one's the rob the bank one, you fucking idiot. Hey, let me know which one's the rob the bank fight of the night, you fucking moron, and I'll be sure to pick the other side because I know that whenever you put all your marbles in the center of the table, I come home with them all.
It's different now. I am delivered. It's different now. Do you understand, Alex? It's different now. I have a reason to live. I have a reason to play. I have a fucking burning desire. I cannot afford to lose. Do you
Fuck
understand?
you, Alex.
You can't afford a mic.
Alex, you
You haven't been able to afford a mic the last 3 years, 4 years now.
Oh, and guys, it's getting worse too. I don't even have Ethernet now, so we are using the MacBook Pro microphone, MacBook Pro camera, and we're using Wi-Fi.
Yeah, you look like live leak footage. Now let Dan finish his statement.
I was going to give the floor to you. This is your boy. This is your boy. I was going to give it to you.
Ooh, yeah, this is Alex's boy, but it's all it's your boy, Mickey Gall. He's from the boardwalk, just like you. He's a Jersey boy, just like all of us. Mickey Gall is all of our boy. So I'll go first. I'll just say it. Mickey Gall is going to get absolutely fucking demolished in this fight. There is no way in hell he makes it to the bell. There's absolutely a 100% chance Mickey Gall gets finished in this fight by Basil Hafez.
And I hope he keeps his UFC contract after and gets one more loss, finishes his career 7-7.
He's got that podcast on Gas Digital Network with the fat guy. He is. You want to talk about Sadiq Youssef, who had a
what fat guy?
I literally don't know his name. But hold on,
Zach Amico?
No. I would
Big
know
J Okerson.
It was. I would know if it was Zach Amico. They have a class. They have a look to them. It's a guy that nobody knows who he fucking is, Alex. It's a different guy. I've got to think of it. Look it up. It's called like the fighter and the fat guy. I don't know. Listen.
The fighter and the fat guy.
I don't know what it is. Listen. That's not the point. I'm saying he has a show on Gas Digital Networks. He's spending time in New York. He's going to the Stand Comedy Club. He's been seen there with the fat guy. He's been seen there with ladies, with women. So now all of a sudden you're telling me Mickey Gall, who already
slick and thick, Luke. You weren't that far off.
I told you. So, he's
Gerard Michaels is his name.
I actually thought I would have guessed it. I would have never guessed that. But Gerard Michaels,
fat. He's pretty fat.
Any of size.
He's got more of a Matty Betts type of build, which I like. A cuddly guy.
No problem with him. Love the guy, actually. Actually, Jared, what's his name? I actually like
Gerard.
I
Michaels.
love, and I
Gerard
love
Butler.
I love both of them. But if he thinks he's good for Mickey Gall's career, he's not. He's terrible for his fighting career. He's good for his outside of fighting career. He should. I think you should table the podcast for 5 more years, or table the friendship for 5 more years, or table the fighting indefinitely forever. Because, Mickey Gall, he's a guy, he can make a lot of money. He should just start calling out Gordon Ryan and trying to do jiu-jitsu matches or some shit, right? Because at the end of the day, when it comes to this fight game, when it comes to the fighting, he stands too high. He has no guard. His striking defense is shit. He's a jiu-jitsu guy who stands for too long. His only good win is against the diabetic guy and CM Punk. You know what I mean? Mickey Gall could have been great. He's an ugly stage Northcutt. Mickey Gall, you're an ugly stage Northcutt, and you are going to lose this fight so fucking badly that I don't know you'll ever fight again. Basil Hafez is a straight up killer. Basil Hafez is going to cut through him like a hot knife through butter. If he can put on that much of a clinic against Jack Della Maddalena, who's calling out Shavkat Rakhmonov, guess what? What do you think happens if Shavkat Rakhmonov gets even in the same room as Mickey Gall? You know what I mean? It's like Mickey Gall and Shavkat Rakhmonov are a light year away. You would have to be in the movie Interstellar to even go from where Mickey Gall is to where Shavkat Rakhmonov is. You would never be able to get there. Mickey Gall will never, ever, 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 ever beat Shavkat Rakhmonov in a fight or even be competitive with him in a fight in this lifetime. Yet, the guy that Basil Hafez arguably beat is calling that guy out, right? So we got one guy way over here, and we got one guy who's in the entertainment industry. So we have a YouTuber versus a guy who is uglier than Mickey Gall, who I already said is the ugly sage Northcutt. Basil Hafez, ugly as sin, nothing else to do, no podcasts, no nothing. Here to fight, here to win, gonna destroy Mickey Gall. This is the bet of the night. All 2,000 going on this. We'll go from there for the rest of the night. And the only thing is, should we do Basil Hafez? He's a minus 300 favorite. So it's like I gotta shop around. But I think I just go Basil Hafez by finish. Basil Hafez, ITD, inside the distance.
I like that. Basil Hafez, I think he's great. I love Basil Hafez. He was there when I got my blue belt. He was great. He showed some moves with one of the Megalaris brothers. Great time, great fun. I think Tim Williams was there too, the South Jersey Strangler. Great time with the boys. Just some South Jersey stuff for you guys. Some South Jersey, Philadelphia area stuff for you guys.
All right, we got a situation.
But that's the point. Luke's making a lot of blanketed statements about the podcast. Like, I don't really like Mickey Gall. Mickey Gall's from, Seaside Heights. I'm more of a Cape May type guy. Seaside Heights guys and I do not really get along. Not a fan of Mickey Gall whatsoever. I'm a huge fan of Basil Hafez. Cool guy. Good luck, Basil. Always welcome on the show. Dan.
Yeah, props to Basil here.
Actually, no. No one's ever allowed on the show again. We're not an interview show. There's no more interviews.
No, we are.
No. Three chairs is already too much. Okay, I'll be the first to say.
I agree. Even Joe Selecki, no more.
What? No.
Joe Lasaki.
We'll get to Joe Lasaki. Basil Hafez gave a great fight to JBL. One of the elite welterweights. I would have to think
Jack Della Maddalena.
John Bradshaw Layfield. I would think that he's got the grit, he's got the guts to get it done against Mickey Gall,
who hasn't fought in
years. If you said 2 years, I'd be like, no, that's not enough. It must have been 3.
It feels like 10. It feels like he hasn't fought a long time. Like
a long time.
And he didn't look good.
He didn't look good at all. What's Mickey Gall going to do? This guy, he's going to outstrike him. He's going to out jiu-jitsu him with his purple belt. Has he even upgraded his purple belt since I last had him on my radar?
I don't know. This is that we should be living in a time where there are enough casual fans and enough people who watch Mickey Gall on the Gas Digital Network for us to be able to get a good line on this. How the fuck does anybody know enough about Basil Hafez to be betting on him? Looking at his record, and he goes, "Oh yeah, he lost to Jack Della Maddalena. He's had one fight in the UFC." Mickey Gall, I know who he is. He's fought very. How is every pro wrestling fan not betting Mickey Gall because he beat CM Punk? You know what I mean? There should be some. But I think what it really is that 290 minus 290 is actually pretty fucking generous for what the situation is. Basil Hafez, a straight up killer, fought recently. Mickey Gall hasn't fought in 2 years. Lost last 2 in a row. I think Basil Hafez beats the last 2 guys that beat Mickey Gall. After what Neil Magny did to Mike Malott, what the fuck did Basil Hafez do to Mike Malott? He fucking beats the shit out of him.
I agree. My pick is Basil.
Thank you.
You're welcome on the show anytime.
No one's allowed.
No, I mean, I will have some people on the show. Manpreet will be on the show eventually when he makes his return. He'll be on the show. And he's going to be coming with a scythe. I just know it. I mean, he had so many people turn their back on him for hundreds of dollars. Could you imagine? I mean, I steal money from you two all the time. You guys just don't know yet. But I mean, I make it right. I rob Peter to pay Paul all the time. It's just
don't care.
No, we know we haven't gotten Patreon money in the last 2 years.
I'm gonna get it to you. Just chill. I just needed it. I needed it, so I took it. You know what I mean? That's the same thing Manpreet did. I took the money that I owed to you two. I said, as long as they're not asking, we're good. I need it for my diapers and my daughter's food. I didn't need it for that. I needed it to gamble with. But my point is, just like Manpreet, right? So it's
so you can pay for your daughter's diapers and food.
Guys, make sure you isolate this clip and use it in my documentary. Okay, take a little bit of it. And then he said because it is true, by the way. I do cash the Patreon money out, but it's an end of the year kind of thing. If these guys, Dan could say to me right now, Luke, I need $500, and I would say, no problem, Dan.
Dan literally asked you the other day. He was like, "Hey, what's up with the Patreon money? Because I realized that we haven't gotten it in a while, and I can."
When you look into it, it is what it is, and I can't change the past. And yes, I've made mistakes. All I can do now is apologize and move on. I don't know what. Guys, okay. Can I just?
Yes, please.
All I can say is I've made mistakes.
It's Luke, I could use this.
I owed you $20. That's on point. That's on point. He owes us $20. Fair enough.
Dude, listen, here's what you guys don't understand, okay? We have StreamYard dues. Do I ask you to pay me for the StreamYard dues? Never.
No, it comes out of our Patreon.
Yes. Okay. So, and then we also have, I had to go pay taxes on the Patreon money. So until we establish a formal
That's foolish on your part. No one's looking at this.
Dude, Patreon is asking me every day. They say, you need to verify your identity. And every day I click ignore. And this will impact your ability to withdraw funds if you do not verify your identity. I'm I'm going to do it, obviously. But I'm just do we just move on to OnlyFans? You know what I mean? Do we
OnlyFans.
But the problem is OnlyFans, in some states, they make the audience member verify their identity, and Patreon doesn't. So
they're more than willing. They're more than willing. These OnlyFans.
I don't know. I'm not willing to take you have to do it for the sportsbook accounts a lot of the time. But it's to take a picture of your ID. I think we as Americans need to take a little bit more of a stand against constantly I gotta take a picture of my ID. Here's my social security number. Okay, can I gamble now? It's to gamble, I need to do all this. I get it.
Sound off in the comments. If you want us to get an OnlyFans to watch Luke go bass to trout, let us know.
Bass to trout. That's interesting. I've never heard that one before.
In this asshole.
Okay, so listen, let's just do it. We're sure we'll be certifying Basil Hafez. He's the man. Nico Price versus Alex Morono. A fight that I feel has happened a trillion times. I mean,
let's go quick on this one. I mean, we've already seen it.
Have we really?
Not that we actually have, but we have. Like you're saying, we've seen it a million times.
Yeah, I know. And Nico Price, Nico Price is the guy that who just can never seem to get it together, right? He's 33. He's still cheating. He's still getting pregnant. He's still crashing cars. He's still drinking. He's still doing vape. He's still doing kratom. He's still doing kratom. He's still doing more kratom. It's enough with the kratom. But Nico, and he's not, by the way, Nico Price is not that guy. I'm saying think about him as that guy. Because even if he's not, he is. Even if he's not, he is. You get what I'm trying to say here? Nico Price is a fuckwit. He's a absolute. Is that what Jonah from Tonga says? He's a fuckwit. I think it's an Australian term. He's a fuck, but he's a fuckwit. You know what I mean? Like, and he's a dipstick. Like, he's a moose. He's a lughead. He's a blockhead. He's a dumbass. He's a shithead. Nico Price is that guy. I mean, it's crazy that he was a cop, right? But it's also not, because if you know two things about cops, you know that some of the best guys from your high school who always were born to be cops became cops, and some of the worst guys from your high school who should have been in jail became cops, right? I could name names. I would love to name names, but I won't. Should I just put phone numbers out? I want to put phone numbers out to our audience and just say, have at it. You know what I mean? Okay. Okay. So, Phil Rowe, Jake Matthews. Are we all? I didn't even make a pick. I'm taking Alex Morono.
Yeah, that's the first time you've ever skipped your own pick.
I'm taking Alex Morono, but because life's not fair, and because life's not fair, I'm taking Alex Morono. But because life's not fair, Nico Price wins by knockout. Okay, just so we're all clear. So I'm hedging on Nico Price by knockout, and I'm not betting Alex Morono at 3-1 odds, taking the fight on short notice, and being a little Pillsbury Doughboy, Bobby Hill kid from the video game bully. Like, he's a fucking, oh, hey, I'm Alex Morono, a car coming down the road with both doors open. I'm Alex Morono. Like, Morono.
Oh, those were two very accurate descriptions of Alex Morono. I'm taking Alex Morono, and I don't think he gets knocked out. I think Alex Morono is slick. Nico Price is having like underground fight club matches with guys named Levi McQuinn at Blue Collar Fight Club.
Remember when Alex Morono put on an absolute fucking clinic against
Santiago Ponzinibbio,
and then Santiago just knocked him the fuck out in round 3?
Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen in this fight, because he's like, yeah, I'm like a smart guy, and like I work with the kids, you know what I mean, and I do everything weird. And then he gets knocked out, and it's like, oh, didn't see that coming, boys. It's like, yeah, we know. You fucking crazy.
But anyway, I was just saying that that this guy, he's got a grappling match like September with this guy, Levi McQuinn. They have no idea what happened. It was at Blue Collar Fight Club, which is like a bad movie and a bad comedy group. Get her done, Get her done. Get her done. Let's do some anarchy. We're gonna burn down the city tonight, okay? We'll put the bombs in the building, and that's how you know you're a redneck. But anywho, I'm going with Alex Morono for that reason. You would never see him defile himself to that level. And the fact that we don't know what happened in that match means that Nico Price lost in the Blue Collar Comedy Club and was like, boys, if this gets back to the UFC, this will be my 4th loss, 2 of them coming outside of the UFC, and I'm bad. They're gonna make me hit the road if Levi McQuinn beat me up. The McQuinn, that's the family from Knuckle, the boxing. Oh, the McQuinns! You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, travelers, gypsies, if you will. Shout out to the gypsy prince now, because
no longer the king.
Did you see what he said though?
No,
he said, "I won that fight. If Usyk wasn't from the Ukraine, they wouldn't have given it to him."
Oh, jeez. Standing TKO. My gosh.
I mean, split decision.
Say what?
It was a split decision. That didn't count as a TKO.
Oh, they didn't give him a TKO? I thought they called it.
No, it was a split decision.
Was that the very end of the last
Saved by
round?
the bell. Saved by the bell in that round.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I could be mistaken. I didn't watch it.
He was knocked out on the feet, but whatever. This is not a boxing podcast. Let's talk about some good old-fashioned UFC fights. Let's talk about a good old-fashioned Alex Morono, who actually is a little bit of a throwback. This guy isn't good really at anything. He's not good at jiu-jitsu or striking, but he's good at being weird. He's good at being a weirdo.
Keith Jardine type.
He's a Keith Alex, you've read my mind, bro. You read my mind. Keith Jardine, when I was like a real amateur at this UFC game, okay? Back when I was in high school, back when the Ultimate Fighter heavyweight came out, and I was like, whoa, who's this guy? Who's the guy? Who's the guy?
Brendan Schwab?
Not Brendan Schaub. Now I'm losing it. Kimbo Slice. Kimbo Slice. And I knew about him previous because he was all the rage back for the high school kids. But those were my Keith Jardine days, is what I'm trying to say here. And I loved him. I thought he was great. And Morono is Keith Jardine-ish. Hello, puppy. He moves weird. He doesn't look like he's athletic, but he understands the game. He's got the Fortis MMA community behind him and the coaches, and they'll be coaching him up versus Nico Price. Who's he got behind him? I don't know. Some guy from South Florida.
30 kids.
Clip that. Yeah. So easy pick. Minus 260 for a reason. Justified. Alex Morono.
I'm taking Morono, but I'm hedging on Price by knockout. And, it's just because life's not fair. You know what I mean? Like, Nico Price, it's the movie.
You already broke down the fight.
No, but I'm saying it's the movie Idiocracy. Like, remember in the beginning of Idiocracy where the two smart people can't get pregnant, and then Nico Price's character in Idiocracy is having 50 kids. Like, it's like that's why life's not fair, and that's why he'll beat the fuck out of
Well, no. It's not that they can't. They choose not to. They're like, I don't know if I want to. Taxes are high.
Let me ask you something. Can I... Christ.
I mean, this is the premise of the movie. They were like, no, I don't want to have kids. It's not that they couldn't. Is that the redneck?
Luke, it's called Dinks. Dual income, no kids. It's an easy Dinks.
Alex, that's a good point. That is put out there.
I'm a dink myself. Dual income, no kids. Huh?
I don't agree with it, but that's
Yeah, but you're quadruple vice.
Hey, inherent vice, baby. Come on, give me more vices. Put me in a vice grip. Come on.
Like kids aren't really that much money at all. Like if you think about it, I'm not sending my kid.
I spend less a month on beer than you spend on your kid for sure.
You spend way more on beer than I spend on my kid. My kid. I mean,
you bought her 3 stuffed animals in 3 days. $40 a pop.
Okay, can I say something? One, she won. One was on sale at GameStop, clearance, $9.99. And since I quit Zyn, I've allotted. What I said to myself was, since we got off the Zyn brainwashing, all the money I would have spent on Zyn is now reallocated towards anything Maddie randomly asks me for while we're out.
So that's like $6 a day, right?
$8.27 a day.
Ooh, Maryland. Woo.
Maryland's a bitch, dude. It's a bitch. Virginia. I went to Virginia. I was like, when I was doing Zyn, I went to Virginia. I'm like, can I get 50 of them at this price? Can I smurf the shit out of this only for personal use? But no. So what I'm trying to say is, yeah, dude, like that. The stuffed animals are pretty cheap until you randomly get hit with like a $50 one that they really want. You're like, all right. I mean, see, I'm a big pimp. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna say no to my daughter. You know what I mean? It's like there's a meme. It's like me buying my daughter anything she wants, so your dusty ass son doesn't impress her in 18 years or something like that. It's like yeah, I gotta protect her. Like I gotta keep her standards high. You know what I mean? Like. Now I get it. I used to hate the princess mentality when I was like in the dating world. I used to be like, all these girls.
Because you were a dusty bull.
I was a dusty bull, dude. Now guys like me, dude. 150%. I'm like, man, all these girls, they think life's a fairy tale. Well, I got news for you, sister. I'm like, yeah, stay away from guys like that. Do me the biggest favor in the world. Any guy who has that mentality, stay the fuck away. Yeah. Anyway, so we got to move on.
Philip Rowe versus Jake Matthews Ban.
I'll start this off. I would love to go with Phil Rowe. Something, I'm looking at that line. Phil Rowe is the underdog. Man, he's like the hot prospect coming up. And Jake Matthews, that was the hot prospect from like 10 years ago, it feels like. 10 years ago, back when I was watching The Ultimate Fighter Heavyweight with fucking Keith Jardine and Kimbo Slice, Jake Matthews was coming up. That was the hot prospect.
I think about the classic UFC 200. I mean, that was his fight to win, or his fight to lose, and he lost. You know, it's like Diego Sanchez beat him. UFC 200. He lost to Diego Sanchez. UFC 200.
No, Diego Sanchez fought Frankie Edgar, I think.
No, Jose Aldo fought Frankie Edgar at UFC 200.
That's true. That is true. Who fought Diego Sanchez at UFC 200? Was it Jake Matthews?
No, actually, sorry. That was UFC 253. He beat Diego Sanchez. Who the fuck am I thinking of?
I don't know.
Michelle Piera.
No.
Joe Lowe's? No.
Yes. No. Yeah. You're right. You're right. Joe Lozon. I remember that.
Joe Lozon. He beat Diego Sanchez.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yep.
Who?
I remember that.
No.
It was the gold mats. Yep.
Wait. Hold on. What fight am I thinking of? Where a young prospect lost to somebody who he was supposed to. Okay. Never mind.
Any fight this year? There's been so many. Vitor Petrino.
Hey, never mind. I don't know what, dude. This is like a Berenstein Bears like Mandela effect for me right now. I'm like in my head. Okay, here's where the wires are getting crossed. Joe Lozon and Jake Matthews train together.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do. And
How?
Joe Lozon is Jake Matthews' mentor. Since they both fought Diego Sanchez, I thought that, fucking that's what happened. But it just really wasn't.
Joe Lozon is not Jake Matthews' mentor. He fights out of Australia. What the fuck are you talking about?
I don't know. Listen, I do not know what I'm talking about. But in my Alex, like I'm actually kind of worried. In my head, Jake Matthews lost to Diego Sanchez at UFC 200. I don't know. Like that's who lost to Diego Sanchez. Nobody. Diego Sanchez lost to UFC 200. But for some reason, in my head, both of those things I just said were true. Joe Lozon is Jake Matthews' mentor, and also Jake Matthews lost to Diego Sanchez at UFC 200. Those things are true to me. Comment if you know why I think that. It's a Mandela effect thing. Berenstein Bears, trust me on this. The Earth has been knocked off its axis by CERN and the labs at CERN. They opened up a portal, and like all of a sudden, like I'm telling you guys, we're in an alternate timeline. But things have been weird for me personally. I'm very connected to the ethereal realm. We need to move on.
All right,
Jake Matthews gets destroyed by Neil Magny, so Phil Bro is going to whoop his ass too, because Neil Magny, Phil Bro, virtually identical, very similar game, very similar style, very similar length, reach, but not age.
Wrong. Holy shit. Kashi.
Well, listen.
Oh, jeez. Oh, my God.
Here's what I will say. Jake Matthews, his record is win-loss, draw. Win-loss. He lost his last. He's going to win this one. Jake Matthews winning by beating Philip Rowe. Jake Matthews is going to win.
All right. I think Dan picked Jake Matthews too. So
I'm picking Jake Matthews. He's going to wrestle the fuck out of him.
I think Phil Bro is better at wrestling. Next up, the main event of the evening, or at least the people's main event of the evening, or at least the people's main event.
Alex, the thing you need to realize is Jake Matthews has 19 UFC fights. Philip Rowe has 5.
Don't care.
Okay, just letting you know.
Less miles.
And Jake Matthews is 29. Fear an old vet in a young man's game.
Less miles.
Fear a young vet in an old man.
Less miles.
We always mess this up. Why can't we get it right once? Fear a young veteran in a game where men die young. Is that what they say? Like, what?
I think so. No, I think that
I think I actually got it perfectly, but I just didn't deliver it perfectly. It was like, you're a young veteran in a man. All right, forget it.
Yo, big pause. But anyway, we got Joe Selecki versus Grant Dawson, a fight we've been calling for the past 3 years. Joe Selecki, a nice, juicy underdog here. I'm going with Joe Selecki. I think his grappling is going to be better. I think his striking is going to be crisper. I think he's going to be faster. And he's going to be better. You know, he doesn't have as many fights, but he's got less miles on him. And, you know, that Jakar Close knockout was fluke. And Joe Selecki's going to beat his ass. And I'm not just saying this because I love Joe Selecki. I actually believe it, and I'm going to put a big bet on it. Because he's
I
plus
agree
250
100%.
underdog.
Joe Selecki is getting completely disrespected in this situation.
Disrespect, brother.
Like, listen, it's, you know, Joe Selecki did just get knocked out 5 months ago, and obviously we all here on this podcast think that everybody thinks that you should take more than 5 months and 2 weeks off after getting knocked out, and Joe actually didn't even really take that much time off from training. He was pretty much back in there very quickly, and you know, he's 5'9". He's gonna sacrifice 2 inches of reach. He's training with Chris Weidman and Salty Dog, guys who are on the brink of retirement. Grant Dawson is training at American Top Team in Coconut Creek, Florida, coming off a knockout loss 7 months ago. So, you know, 2 months more than Joe Selecki. Honestly, I don't like that either of these guys are returning that quickly because ultimately that's too quick for both guys. You know, at the end of the day, Grant Dawson, dumb guy, articulate, you know what I mean? So not dumb, smart guy. Joe Selecki, smart guy too. So I love the odds on Joe Selecki plus 250. This is a fight we've been calling for a while. You know, I'm pissed. I don't know. I wanted this fight after the Jared Gordon split decision. I wanted this fight before the Jared Gordon split decision. I wanted this fight, you know, I think 2 years ago. Now that they're both coming off knockout losses, I really don't know which version of each we're going to get.
We get it. You're picking Grant Dawson. That's your pick. Can't see that.
Okay, well, good. Hey, good. Hey, good.
I think it said KGD, knockout Grant Dawson.
I did not write that.
You did. You did.
I did not find it. I found that he was sitting here. Somebody else left it here. I just thought you said that, but maybe that's your pick. I don't know. I'm going with
Grant Dawson. That's your pick.
I'm going with Joe Selecki. And yep.
Alex, make me split the difference, please.
Let's do the odds. I mean,
I already took Joe Selecki.
Oh, you already picked. I will go with Joe Selecki. I saw an interview he did on another podcast. Made me a little bit pissed off because, you know, Joe's not allowed to go anywhere else besides here. But he was talking about how this was going to be a, you know,
Not true. And actually, we don't take guests anymore. Just so.
No, we do.
It's good.
We do. I mean, any guest can come on.
Joe told us he was going to send us a signed poster from the event we sponsored. He never got around to it. I didn't want to bring it up on any of the subsequent.
That means he's smart and doesn't waste his time on stupid bullshit like our podcast. So I'm down with it.
And I'm willing to accept that.
Yeah. Okay. So shut up.
Okay. So thanks. Okay. Yeah. Obviously. Like, but I'm just saying, like, okay. So, like, but hey, like, okay. But when are we going to, maybe now we pressure him for some signed gloves, or I think maybe we get some PSA grade 10 Joe Selecki cards. We send them to him. We get him to sign them. I
don't know, guys. I don't know. All I know is I'm gonna pick Joe Selecki, and I'm gonna be. But I'm the Joe Lassucki guy. And I'm gonna get Joe
Selecki. Hey, she'll be certified Joe Selecki. What the fuck? You think I called for him to get this fight? And
you didn't. Neither of you guys did. You're both picking Grant Dawson. I'm on the island here. I'm on the Lassucki.
Right. Okay. Listen.
I'm on the Lassucki Island at plus 250, and I'm down with it. So you guys can both suck it.
You're the only one on that one.
Losing your parlays.
I'm gonna pick Grant Dawson just to curse him. Okay. I'm gonna pick Grant Dawson just to curse him.
Wait, is this your rob the bank fight of the night?
We picked Joe Selecki last time. We Shelby certified him, and he lost. And I think that if he's gonna win this time, I have to defect to push it so that I get punished. You know what I mean? Who's got better karma? Joe Selecki, who goes
the best karma,
right? Or me. Now, my thing is
no karma for you.
I feel I'd be betraying the audience if I didn't say this. What did Joe come on here and tell us last time?
Movie.
That they're making a documentary about him. What did I say about Sadiq Youssef? That once he started getting
He
attention,
ain't getting no damn money for that
now
documentary.
what I will say is the caveat is the documentary is about him and his fighting career with that much of an intense focus on his life and his existence. I got to think that makes a guy like Joe Solecki polish off the edges, work even harder, double down, higher risk of embarrassment, plays this fight safe. Grant Dawson at the end of the day cannot out wrestle Joe Solecki. Grant Dawson at the end of the day cannot stop the jiu-jitsu onslaught that is Joe Solecki. And coming off a knockout 7 months ago, he's not going to have the balls to put the fucking punches together to knock a guy like Joe out. I'm taking Joe. Let's go into decision. Joe beating Grant Dawson in the same way we've seen Grant beat other guys, with lay and pray, grappling controlled, boring fight, safe fight. Joe wins via lay and pray. Two guys that just got knocked out. Not trying to get knocked out again. Joe wins. Triple B certified Joe Solecki.
Son of a bitch, dude. I was trying to get a bet in on this Phillies game. The over-under was 6.5. In the bottom of the eighth, the Phillies had a man on first and second. Tried to get the bet in. They just scored 2 fucking runs right when I did it. I was so close to getting it in, boys. It was
so
plus money, too.
There are so many no sweat bets available on FanDuel for baseball. You should check that out. Because and not a sponsorship, and don't ever do it. Don't even use FanDuel because they fucking suck. Okay. Roman Kopylov, Cesar Almeida. I mean, guys, I really was high on Roman Kopylov. He showed how fucking good our boy Fluffy Hernandez is, if he had not shown that already. The guy who was supposed to be on this card against Roman Dolideze, a fight I would have had a tremendously difficult time picking. But 3 months ago, he got choked out by Fluffy. 8 months ago, he looked amazing against Josh Fremd. I think we split the difference here. I think that he comes away with the win here just off of sheer experience. I mean, unless Cesar Almeida is one of the best fighters of all time, I don't see him getting over on a vet. A guy in Roman Kopylov who has had 7 UFC fights to his 1. He's had more UFC fights than this guy's had fights. This guy's fought Dylan Budka, who is 7-2 and has, not fought in the UFC really. So it's like, this guy Cesar Almeida has never faced a caliber of competition like Roman Kopylov. So I think Roman Kopylov by decision.
Kopylov all the way. It's going to be a kickboxing delight. But I think even Kopylov could probably wrestle this guy. I mean, Cesar Almeida showed very little wrestling chops going into his Dylan Budka matchup. I think just Kopylov matching him with the kickboxing will expose those openings, and the experience. I think he's got a little bit of a height advantage. I got to check that one out again, but I love Kopylov. He's been on a bit of a run. He's been crushing it. I'm gonna ride that to the bank. Kopylov.
Fuck Kopylov. He sucks. I'm going with Cesar Almeida. A lot of dogs. My dogs are barking. All right.
My dogs are hungry. That's one.
I got 3 lines actually completely wrong on that one. Ironically enough, I was thinking of the episode of Family Guy where Sarah Palin's daughter is like, "My cows are barking" when she takes her shoes off. Sarah Palin's daughter. Look it up. Great scene. Randy Brown versus Oleksiy Zaskalesk. I thought this guy was be busy this Zelensky. But, Randy Rude Boy Brown. I like Randy Rude Boy Brown. He's long, he's dangerous, he's strong. I'm going Randy Brown. He finds ways to lose these fights, though. You would think, fighting somebody so much older than him, so much less long than him, so much less dangerous than him, he would win this fight. But he loves finding ways to lose. But I'm going with Randy Rude Boy Brown. Dan, what do you think about this one?
I like Randy here. He's gonna have, a 4-inch height advantage, 5-inch reach advantage. As far as the years, he's 4 years younger. And he's on a bit of a high himself, 2 straight wins. I think I don't think Zaleski's going to get one over on him with the capoeira and being super aggressive. I think Randy is really finding his range. He's been finding his range a lot his last 5 fights. So is it a parlay pillar? It's borderline. It's borderline.
You said it like it wasn't. You said it like it wasn't a parlay pillar.
I mean, because I don't know. There's something about Randy Brown. Like, he's not a killer. He's not a killer out there. But he is a technician. And the other piece of this is that Zaleski is like, he's always proving us wrong. I feel like we're always going, Zaleski, he's too old. This is where he goes over the hill. But then he matches up real well. I'll go with Randy Brown. And I will say it's a pillar. It's going down. It's going down for real.
It's going downtown, Randy Brown. While we're waiting for Luke, Jailton Almeida versus Alexander Romanov. I'm going with Romanov, man. I think the wrestling.
I'm here. I've been here this whole time. I didn't know I wasn't on camera. So, yeah, listen, Randy Brown, he's disappointed me a little bit in his trip over to Australia. That comes to mind against Jack Della Maddalena. Not only was he uncompetitive, but I don't know. His last 2 opponents since then, old guys with big-time losses, 6 losses. I guess Muslim Salikov only had, 4 or 3 losses. But old dude, doesn't take a lot of fights. I don't know. I mean, really tough because you got one guy who's overperforming against better competition and one guy who's underperforming. I'm going to go with no bet situation. I don't like this fight, but I'm going to take Zaleski. No. I'm going with Randy Brown with much chagrin.
With a chagrin on your face, you fucking idiot.
No, not a chagrin, but with much chagrin.
Shalom.
Oh
Shalom.
my gosh. No, none of that, please.
All of that. We are moving on. I'll be the lead here.
All right, and you slow the pace down.
No, I already said what I was saying.
Those are some boring- Let's reset the table a bit. Those were some boring prelims fights. We're well lubricated now. We got our notes. I got my notes right here. Right, I got my notes.
You ain't got no notes.
Shut the fuck up. It's been so much. Again,
get a lozenge. How about that? Get a
you
lozenge.
just fucking made me almost have a.
Both of you guys are coughing
I almost had a conniption.
the winter time.
Listen, what I need is.
I ain't scared of no notes.
I need to go get a beverage. I have a frog in my throat.
Get a lozenge.
But what I'm going to do is, I'm going to get a beverage. We're going to slow the pace down for the last 4 fights that we have to break down here. Jailton Almeida versus Romanov, Lord versus Kevin Holland, Sean Strickland versus Paulo Costa, Dustin Poirier versus Islam Makhachev. Fights with drastic consideration, things that need to be considered. So, guys, take this opportunity if you're watching the show to refresh your own beverage, okay? We're going to slow the pace down a little bit for you so that you can enjoy this. If you're at work, this is when you take a bathroom break. This is when you go get a coffee. This is when you go have a drink at the water cooler. Pause it. Take a stretch because this is where we take a break. Digest everything you just heard. Take your notes, write it down, comment, say, here's what I think. Your Roman Kovalov pick was great, but and I agree with what you said about Nico Price, and I agree with what you said about Basil Hafez. Just write all that in the comments. Okay. Jailton Almeida, Alexander Romanov. You guys know I love Alexander Romanov. I think Jailton Almeida is a little fucking bitch ass bum. I'm going with Alexander Romanov. He's a 2+ 240 underdog. He's underperformed. He's looked really shitty. He's gotten beat up. He should be fucking undefeated champ, but he's not. The way he was doing belly to back suplex at 265, the way he's just throwing grown men around, he really won my heart. He's fighting out of Finksburg, Maryland. I'm going to go visit him soon. Let's go, my boy, Alexander King Kong Romanov. smash this bitch. Coming back way too soon. 2 months ago, got knocked out by Curtis Blades. Deserved every bit of that beatdown. Can't wait to see him take another one. 17-2. My boy King Kong. Let's go.
He's
Luke
fighting
wanted
in
to slow that
Maryland.
shit-
That's
Luke wanted to
surprising.
slow that shit down just so he could steal my thunder. He heard me saying I was
I'm
taking
sorry.
Alexander
You
Romanov.
left. You left.
Bro,
You want
no.
me to let Dan?
I was saying Alexander Romanov while you were gone, and you were like, no, I'm here. By the way, I gotta get my
the last fight before we moved on to the current.
You were gone, dude. So, sometimes someone has to steer the fucking ship. If you're gone, you're out gallivanting. You go off screen. You go off mic. You're hitting the town. You're drinking a little red, a little white, huh?
I have to go off mic one more time.
Oh my gosh! And guess what? If you're not back in time, we're breaking down Kevin Holland without you, dummy.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
How about this? I got
Romanov,
a bit of a
for me.
surprising take here. Go, Luke. Go. What?
Just do your picks for Romanov versus Johnson Almeida. I'll come back. If I don't come back before you're finished with the picks,
Luke, hey, newsflash, idiot.
I'll say. I'm here. I just wish I had a beverage. I need to get a beverage.
Luke,
Get
go
a
get your
beverage.
beverage.
Go get
your beverage.
Don't
Go
stop
get your
it, dude.
beverage.
Go get it.
But how about this?
About me.
You already gave
me while I'm gone.
Hey,
Go.
let me finish what I'm saying. Instead of interrupting the second you get back, let us finish what we're saying and break down the next fight last. Because, Dan still hasn't broken off the Romanov one. Yeah.
Surprise pick. Surprise, motherfuckers. I'm going with Alexander Romanov. Triple P certifying a rather large dog. Why he's a large dog, I don't know. He's a large man in a heavyweight fight against a guy in Jonathan Almeida, who is not proven to be a killer. Okay? I feel like this is a theme for me in this fight card. Who's the killer and who's just looking to fight? Okay? Alexander Romanov has a lot of flaws. He can't strike for dog shit, but he's out there for the kill. He will literally take his forearm and jab it in your throat hole and push it down until you are unconscious, okay? He is a killer from Moldova. They don't play in that region. They're playing around a little bit in Brazil, if you ask me. Now they're playing NFL football. They're going to be throwing flags out there for pass interference, okay? That's where the state of Brazil is at now as far as like contact sports, okay? We're doing NFL football now. Please. Give me Alexander Romanov. Bigger, stronger, a better grappler. I don't know, but I think a more physical specimen who's looking for the kill more so than Jonathan Almeida. Yes, that's a yes. And that's a yes for me as far as this pick. Triple P certify a plus 250 dog. Woo! Ooh! I like it.
Yeah, me too. Okay, so all right, Kevin Holland, Michael Lord, Olajayshuk. I'm going with Kevin Holland here. Two guys coming off some losses. Kevin Holland hasn't really looked great, but I think he's in a must-win situation, and I think he's got the physical attributes to control a guy like Lord and look good on the judges' scorecards. Maybe even get a finish with the jiu-jitsu. I think Lord is lacking. I think they don't want Kevin Holland to take 3 losses in a row and a 12th loss on his record. Lord's about to take an 8th. Both these guys stink, but Kevin Holland for me.
They don't give a fuck about us. They don't give a fuck about Kevin Holland. That's for sure. Who honestly at this point in time gives a damn about Kevin Holland? He had this nice little run. He had a JRE appearance.
Who do they give more of a fuck about? A guy they've built up and given.
Bro, they don't care about this fight. They're just like, oh, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. That's our extent of us caring about this fight. That's a fun fight, which it will be. But as far as the winner, they don't care. They really don't. Kevin Holland is a prospective title challenger. Kevin Holland is a prospective pay-per-view player.
The UFC's not built off title challengers. They're built off of the workmen.
Okay. Okay. How about bringing viewers in? Anyone's coming in for the fight for Kevin Holland? No, he's not that cool. Oh, he eats French fries. So he's so cool. No, nobody gives a fuck. Michael Olajaychuk is gonna piece his ass up. Okay, this isn't Wing Chun. Oh, we're all Wing Chun tonight. No, we're not. Okay, Michael Olajaychuk from Poland. He's from an actual country that is tough as. So I'm sorry. I can't keep this going. But in all honesty, we got a guy from Eastern Europe who is not about the bullshit, not about like playing around with Wing Chun and Kung Fu. Okay, we have a real, actual, again, killer, not just like a entertainment guy who wants to be on MTV. We have a killer. Olajaychuk for the win. I'm sorry. Getting out of line here.
Yeah, especially when in Poland, you definitely can't carry guns like you can in Texas. I mean, you're talking about...
Are you... What? What are you talking about? It's not true at all.
Poland? Let's see. Gun laws in Poland.
Yeah, please.
It's Europe after all.
Oh, yeah, it's Eastern Europe. Make my day, please. Oh my gosh, you'd be foolish.
Poland has some of the best firearm laws in the European Union. In general, Polish laws allow people to own modern firearms with a police-issued permit if they have a valid reason.
I have a pulse. Give me a gun.
Yeah, you have to ask the police for permission. You don't.
We do too.
Not in Texas.
What, you just buy a gun, no background check in Texas?
Yeah, it's called a fucking gun show loophole. It says, generally speaking, people in Texas can carry guns wherever. Guns are not prohibited.
Kevin Holland is a LA product, so don't think
open carry, OC. And he's from fucking Texas, baby.
Dan lives in an open carry state, you pussy. You don't live in an open carry state. Get the fuck out of here.
I don't need. First of all, I don't need a fucking rule to tell me what I can and can't do. I do what the fuck I want. Second of all, Second of all, I listen. The only rule I respect is the Bible. Kevin Holland.
Here's what I'm going with on this one. Lord, I am Lord. I'm going with Michael Olajaychuk. I've gone with a lot of dogs so far. A lot of dogs on this card. Haven't been too many dogs winning throughout the year. I'm
just pumped up. I'm pumped up. Go.
I think that this is going to be a very dog-heavy card. I think that Kevin Holland doesn't have what it takes to beat Lord. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and Chuck Wee is just as good as Kevin Holland, if not better, and he wasn't able to get it done against Lord. I think Lord might finish Kevin Holland. It might be like one of those headbutt situations that Homeboy had with Kevin Holland, but Lord will come out looking good.
He's going to headbutt him?
Yeah, he's going to headbutt him. I think he's going to headbutt him, honestly. I think it will end by headbutt.
Lord is going to beat Kevin Holland's ass. Holy shit. Kevin Holland is too dumb to deal with a lefty out there. Too dumb.
Kevin Holland was getting his ass beat by Daukus before Daukus headbutted him. You remember that? Daukus was literally... Daukus does... And God bless the guy. God bless...
Wonder Boy was beating the fuck out of Kevin Holland.
God bless Kyle Daukus. God bless him, but he doesn't even know how to spell. Okay? But he was out there just whooping Kevin Holland's ass, and Kevin Holland dodged a bullet. If Kyle Daukus won that fight, he wouldn't have got sent his walking papers after he lost his next fight after that. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
You beat a name like Kevin Holland, you're here to stay, brother.
Okay, so Trophy certified, or no? You guys are taking Lord. I'm taking Kevin. All right, so we got Paulo Costa versus Sean Strickland. Dan, what do you think about this one?
I like Paulo Costa here.
Dan with his ninth underdog of the card.
No, it's not. It's honestly not. I think Sean Strickland operates best when it's like a nice, clean fight. Both guys are trying to be like conservative with their game plan to a degree. I think Paulo Costa.
By the way, everybody who thought Dan could manipulate me into not or making or not making something trophy certified. I just proved to you guys right there how easy and how much smarter I am than Dan, because I have just been strategically making Dan pick second or first every single time so that he can never actually affect the trophy certified picks.
I wasn't even thinking about that strategy myself. So you actually got duped because I don't get
I've been also strategically leaving and turning my camera off so that Dan would like be forced to make certain picks because I wasn't here at all. So like it like makes him take the first, the second. It's been
You are a
let's just say
psychopath.
This
I thought
is
about it
a
as soon as he said it, Alex. As soon as he said it, I thought about it.
Luke.
And if you go back, you can actually see me think of the idea.
having Luke not talk for about 15 minutes extra per episode. That's a treat for the fans. So this is good for me. This is good for the show. If it's good for the show, it's good for me. I'm gonna go with.
Luke,
Go ahead,
Dan
Alex.
could literally change his pick.
Alex.
Dan
Alex,
could literally
you're tricking
change his
Alex.
pick
You're
at any
tricking
time,
Alex.
and he could change his pick right at the end of the show. So your little strategy doesn't do shit at all, actually.
It does. All right, so go ahead,
Dan, go ahead. Sorry.
The pick is Paulo Costa. Okay, he's gonna bring the fight to Sean Strickland. Likes to operate at space. That space ain't gonna be given, boy. Listen, your little punk ass jab ain't gonna do much to a Brazilian who just wants to keep coming forward. All right. I think this is like a Vanessa Demopoulos, Emily Ducote fight. It's going to come down to who's coming forward and who wants to play the little counter jab game. Okay. This is the co-main event of a pay-per-view in New Jersey. It's kind of a big deal. It's like, this is the curtain jerker of the big time summer cards, right? This is big for the UFC. They don't want a jab master winning the co-main event of their first grand event of the summer. It's going to be Paulo Costa. He's going to land a couple big rights. It's going to be a little bit sloppy, but he's going to get the decision when it's all said and done. Paulo Costa by decision.
I like how you think he's going to win by decision, because to me, I mean, that the decision, that tells me that if it goes that far, it tells me Sean Strickland is the one who's won.
3-round fight. It's not 5.
And let's see. Let's go to Strickland versus Duplessis scorecard. Okay. Official scorecards. Okay, let's see how every judge scored. Okay, so Patricia Van Meer. Okay, hold on. You gotta scroll down. Okay. Derek Clearly scored it round 1 for Strickland. Eric Colon scored it round 1 for Strickland. Sal D'Amato scored it round 1 for Strickland. Then every judge, except for Sal D'Amato, had rounds 2 and rounds 3 for Triscus Duplessis. Sal had rounds 1 and 3 for Strickland. Sal had 1, 3, and 5 for Strickland. 1 and 5 were given to him by every judge. It was that round 3 seems to be what it came down to, where 2 Cologne and Cleary scored round 3 for Duplessis. So I'd like to go back and watch round 3 of Strickland versus Duplessis, see what's going on here. Because I remember thinking that Sean Strickland was winning the fight.
I thought myself.
Yeah, and I remember everybody was thinking that. But we were doing a bit of drinking at the time. Maybe I was wrong. Let's go back. I'm gonna go back and watch round 3. That's what I want to see. I want to see round 3. That's the one that Eric Cologne and Derek Clearly are being called into question for. So yeah, this is an interesting fight. I really thought Paulo Costa was going to beat Robert Whittaker. He, in my mind, did beat Robert Whittaker. I think he did more damage. I think he came closer to finishing the fight. I think just ultimately Robert Whittaker outbored everybody. He's a little boring bitch. Robert Whittaker, you suck. I'm going with Paulo Costa. I love him. I think he's amazing. He can spend, he can spend the night at my house any night. I love Paulo Costa. You're amazing. I hope you get the Israel Adesanya rematch, and I hope you smash him. Sorry, look at me. I'm out here looking like Megamind. Up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Sean Strickland. He's just the more polished striker, mixed martial artist, and fighter. And here's the thing, guys. Like, Paulo Costa runs at him and wants to get into a dick swinging contest. Yeah, Paulo Costa can put his lights out. But at the same time, is the Philly Shell really gonna let that happen? I don't think so. I think Sean Strickland goes out there and he keeps him on the outside of his jab and throwing a lot of punches and walking him down. But it could be a lot like the Paulo Costa Jared.
The reason Paulo loses is because people don't want to fight him like Strickland's going to fight him. When people fight him like he wants to be fought, then he fucking goes ham and beats the shit out of guys, I think. I don't know. I mean, he kind of didn't against Romero. He kind of didn't against Rockhold. He kind of didn't against Whitaker. But it's going to happen. He's going to knock Strickland the fuck out. Strickland's going to get slept, and Izzy's going to be like, I told you guys. And we're going to be like, what? What did you tell me?
No, you're right. You're right. You are right.
Izzy will be to me to like, you see, some people can be on top for a moment, but the moment at the end of the day is only for a blink of an eye, whereas some of us live forever, frozen in time. I don't know. It'll be some whole thing,
Yeah, and it'll be a picture of him finishing both Paulo Costa and Alex Pereira.
Yeah, he'll be like, he who laughs last best. So, sometimes you laugh for a moment. I'll be laughing for life. I wish I could have this moment for life. And then it'll be like the song, Moment for Life.
I wish I could have this moment for
Some
life.
people are P. Diddy. I've always been a Kanye fan myself. I wish I could have this moment for...
If you can communicate this product, you can make money off the product.
Somebody needs to find the clip of him saying, I'm buying up New Zealand like the Chinese. And then tie it into him saying he is Chinese and tied, you know what I mean? The whole, I'm the Chinese dragon thing. Because it exists. I remember an interview where he was like, I'm investing in real estate. I'm buying up New Zealand like the Chinese. That's what he said. Find it. It's out there. I need to find it. I've always loved Israel Adesanya. And he became, it's fun to watch somebody who you thought was cool and everybody agreed, and then everybody agrees that he's not cool, and you're just I'm indifferent now. Now I'm just kind of all right, because he's kind of retreated, you know what I mean? He's gone into the darkness until he emerges and gets a win. I can't really, he's not a cap. I can't ride on this cap. I have to find a new ship.
Dan was the first guy on hating Israel Adesanya.
He's always hated him.
Before the whole rest of the world, and I just sounded like Stipe because I had a frog in my throat.
We watched him knock Robert Whitaker out at your house in Philly, and then I watched him knock Paulo Costa out in Hawaii, and me and this Hawaiian kid were just clowning Brooke because she loved Paulo Costa because he was so good looking. So we obviously were just rooting for Izzy to finish him and to make Brooks, and that's exactly what happened. Then he humped him. And we were laughing, and she was just, that's when that day Brooke became a UFC fan, because she had to watch somebody she really wanted to win lose, and then be completely embarrassed for him and be taunted by everybody in the room who wanted the other guy to win. And she had to live with that and feel that pain for so long, I feel like. And that's when she was like, this matters. This shit actually matters.
This matters. Yeah, that's great.
Can you imagine? Nobody I ever liked got humped after they lost. What could even be? I can't even, I've seen my guys get knocked out brutally, but not knocked out and then get humped, And then he made it worse when he made the video after. He was like, Adesanya, I did not see what you did to me until after, and I do not approve. And you're like, oh, just don't say anything. Just stop. Just move on. Act like it didn't bother you. The fact that you...
It was because of the wine, dude. It was...
and then the wine, It's stop. None of I've never supported anybody who's let me down that bad.
It's crazy that Paulo Costa... It's crazy how quick this game works. It's
what was your biggest hell? What's your biggest... Go ahead. Sorry. What were you saying?
1 second, Israel Adesanya, the darling of the UFC, doing Israel Adesanya, Avatar, Naruto, Dragon Ball Z stuff all the time. But Paulo Costa being the black hat, and now everyone loves Sigma Chad Paulo Costa, and no one likes Doggy Diddler or Izzy Adesanya.
Yeah, that's fair. And he doesn't even fight. And well, he does. He's gonna have a fight against. He's gonna walk into a title fight. So
yeah, he's gonna fight DDP, and Sean Strickland has to fight Paulo Costa, and this is a bad matchup for Sean Strickland.
Izzy has been very good about this his entire career. He chess pieces his enemies against each other while he takes easier fights or time off. You know, like he'll take time off, and he knows that the UFC wants him for certain, needs him for certain cards. And if not him, one of his close friends who's gonna let him know, hey, you know, I got an email about the Perth card. Are you gonna be on the Perth card? I don't know. Hold on. Don't tell him you're gonna be on the Perth card because I'm actually negotiating some shit. You know what I mean? And then it's like, think about it. He can fight in Perth. He can fight in West Adelaide. He can fight in Sydney. You know what I mean? But he can't really fight many other places. You know, Vegas, I guess, or whatever. But it's like there's only a certain amount of usable opportunities, and if you actually are paying attention to it, you probably see it very clearly. Like, okay, if I just chill, hey, yeah, I got a broken toe. Yeah, I was wakeboarding with Mark Zuckerberg. I got a broken middle finger. You know what I mean? Like, you can do a million different things, like, to get yourself exactly what you want. And Izzy's been great about that his whole career.
I'm player one. I see the Matrix. I love video games and anime.
And Anderson, you know, was the first to kind of do this. Anderson was the king of this, and he learned it from his from Ed Soares. You know, Anderson was the king of, you know, the UFC would say Anderson Silva is going to be fighting Vitor Belfort. And then he'd go, and then you'd see the next day an article, Anderson Silva not fighting Vitor Belfort. And it's like Anderson saying, like, he told one publication in Brazil, like, no, I didn't agree to that. And I have a hurt knee and I'm not actually fighting Vitor. And then there would be the next article, UFC. Well, we don't know. And then him. Yeah, I'm fighting Vitor Belfort. You know? And what did he just do with Chael Sonnen? What did he just do?
Did he do that?
Yo, I thought he was fighting Terry Crews.
Yeah, exactly. Master.
Right.
The fighter has you in his web. He is a master. He said he did a whole thing with Terry Crews to make everybody go, oh, what? That's so stupid. That's dumb. He should be fighting somebody like else. Like, there's a million better people. Okay, then who? Well, Chael Sonnen. I mean, you could fight Chael Sonnen. That'd be a good one. They're both. And then boom. Okay. You said it. You know, it's perfect. I mean, they're
I like it. I love it.
But in boxing, why? Chael said, Anderson said it was my decision and I picked boxing because I want to fight Jorge Masvidal.
It's because neither of them, in my opinion, as a joke, I'm just kidding, could pass a drug test. So it's got to be a boxing.
But they don't have to pass a drug test to not.
They're both
fight
under
the
contract
UFC.
with the UFC.
Oh, okay. No, Chael isn't.
Chael is not.
I don't think Anderson is either. I think he honored every fight.
He honored every fight?
I think he did.
He was cut. I think he was released. No, for sure. I mean, like, look, if they wanted to do an MMA fight, that'd be one thing. But the reality is, I think that
Chael said it was his choice. Chael said
there's so many pieces at play. If you
Chael said, Anderson said, I will let Chael pick the rule set for the fight.
But exactly.
Chael said, on my father's deathbed, I told him I would be Anderson Silva in a boxing match. And that's what will let him rest in peace.
I think it's a lot of things at play. I think it's like exclusivity rights to MMA bouts and not wanting to test that and have to involve the UFC. And I think it's also like we've already seen it in MMA twice, so you can't have it done in MMA again because it's already been seen twice. And I think it's also like drug testing and exhibition type things and like not wanting or willing or being able to prepare for a 3-round MMA fight or, you know what I mean? Like it takes a certain level of discipline on your body to prepare for, you know, for that.
Chael said he wants Jorge Masvidal after that, so we'll see. And he said he's the backup fighter for the Nate Diaz Jorge Masvidal fight. So
those are both terrible for Chael. I think he's probably.
I think this is all bad ideas for Chael.
Knocked out by Anderson and then knocked out by Masvidal.
Did he see what Tito Ortiz did? Just any No, I know he thinks Tito Ortiz is a dumbass, but now he's going to go do the same exact thing.
Two other wrestlers, Tyron Woodley and Ben Askren, equally both got knocked out cold by Jake Paul. Chael is closer to Tyron and Ben than Anderson, who fought, Jake Paul as well and didn't get knocked out, or George, who's going to be fighting Nate Diaz in the interim, who is an amazing boxer. You know what I mean? It's like, or not amazing, but he has some of the best boxing, So it's like, I think
like how you said
it all is against
Diaz there. I like how you said Diaz there. You put you put a lot of emphasis on the "ez" there.
Yes.
Nate Diaz.
Nate Diaz. All right, so I'm gonna go with Paulo Costa. He's an alpha Chad. Me and Dan are on the side of Paulo, the eraser. Alex is taking Sean Strickland. God help you if Sean Strickland wins. It'll be a boring Miranda Cosgrove jab fest. I hope that at least these guys get after it. And think about it, dude. Here's what it's going to be like when Sean Strickland fought Uriah fucking Hall, and he was pissing his pants fighting Uriah Hall. He was like, who gives a fuck? I'll fight Uriah Hall. I don't give a fuck. Uriah Hall fucking can't fight. So it's like, yeah, Sean Strickland's fighting Uriah Hall. And he's
Uriah Hall would put you in a body bag.
Okay, fair enough. But Uriah Hall turned Sean Strickland into a wrestler. Like, Sean Strickland wrestled him and he said, sorry guys, I had to fight a boring fight because he's scary. It's like, dude, Uriah Hall was 40 years old. Uriah Hall was 40 years old. You didn't do that against Izzy. Like, Uriah Hall's much like he's 40. Like, you really were that scared.
But that was after Sean Strickland heard of the character Trevor from GTA and was like, I've got a new personality. I'm not the long-haired guy anymore. Free child on a motorcycle, having fun. Now I'm a hard ass. Now I like David Goggins. Okay.
No, I think he doesn't like David Goggins. He was talking shit about the Navy SEALs.
And here's the thing about the Navy SEALs, guys. Like, they're the smartest dumbasses that you can find.
It's a funny Sean Strickland impression. I respect the Navy SEALs. Anyway, Robert Whittaker, 3 months ago versus Justus Duplessis 3 months ago. 5-round fight 3 months ago, which, you got to recover a lot more from. Robert Whittaker didn't land any damage on Paulo. So I love that Paulo is actually getting in there. Think about this, right? He fought Izzy 3 years, 7 months ago. It took him a year to get back in there after that. It took him a year to get back in there after that. Then it took him over a year to get back in there after that. Now he's fighting 3 months later. We're going to see the best Paulo Costa we've ever seen. He's going to knock Sean Strickland the fuck out. Bad. Sean's going to be like that. Sean's going to be like this. Because Sean's going to step into the pocket with him, and Paulo's going to just go bop, 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 bop. It's going to be bad. Sean's going to be like, congrats to Paulo. You're a hell of a dude.
He's afraid of Brazilian guys. He did say that.
He's going to be like, oh, congrats to Paulo. You're a big Brazilian. They're very, He's getting knocked.
And here's the thing, guys. You got a big, scary Brazilian swinging at your head. Sometimes you go in the pocket, you make a bad decision. I go in there, do the man dance, try to put my dick on the table, and sometimes it gets cut off.
Yep, exactly. It's going to be something to that need, yeah.
Next up, the main event of the evening.
Paulo. By the way, you're wrong, Alex. It's 5 rounds. Sean versus Paulo is 5 fucking rounds.
I didn't say that.
3.
Dan did. No, Dan did. Dan did.
It's 5 fucking rounds, Dan.
Alex said it.
I didn't even know that. Okay, so does that
Dan used it that it was 3 rounds as a reason to take Paulo Costa, and I took Sean Strickland.
No, Alex said it was 3 rounds.
All right, well, I'm just saying. And the official.
And then Luke looked up the DDP scorecards to be like, he was going to be the smart and mark in the cheap seats and be like, well, actually, Dan, Sean Strickland won the first 2 rounds of that fight, and then he kind of faded toward the end.
Well, every judge gave DDP round 4, and every judge gave Strickland round 5, so it's kind of inconclusive evidence.
I know. That's what I was making fun of you for.
Yeah. Well, and also people, one way or another, people think it's a robbery situation. So
it was a robbery situation.
All right. Well, I'm going to make my final pick of the evening.
No, Islam Makhachev by submission, guillotine. He is going to beat Dustin Poirier by guillotine. He's going to take him down, mount him, and then guillotine him from mount and not let Dustin Poirier get the top position during the guillotine. He's going to show him how to finish a fight by guillotine. And you can tell because he took this interview with DC and Chael a week or two ago, and he said, Dustin Poirier, I respect him done. I think he really got good guillotine. And then like looks at somebody to the side of the camera and starts laughing. And Chael's like, Islam, that's great. Da, 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 da. And then DC's like, no, Chael, you don't understand. He is not respectful guy. I promise you, he is not respectful guy. That is a joke. He is busting your balls. No, he does not respect us in Poirier. Islam, stop being so mean to my boy from Lafayette, Louisiana.
Yeah, DC, he's gonna be like, hey DC, I guillotine your boy.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Boy, and also Dustin, Islam has said in the past, there's a lot of fake black belts in the UFC. There's a lot of these guys.
Yes.
Black belts.
These guys fake black belts. Don't be silly. Guillotine from Mount.
But more importantly, Islam is DC's protege. Islam is a student of Abdullah Nurmagomedov, who is Eagles MMA father's plan, who has passed away. Father was able to
love Dustin Poirier,
but one event, and that was Khabib's fight with Dustin Poirier. Which he attended. They built the stadium for Khabib. All honor, all respect was paid out to everybody, and he really respected Dustin Poirier and his effort and his attendance and his willingness to compete and fight, and ultimately his respect. Khabib choked Dustin out. I think Islam will choke Dustin out as well. I think Islam will choke him out out of respect. I think he will not want to do damage to him. That is haram. That is against the Quran. So he will just do respectful but honorable guillotine submission. Possibly he go for guillotine. He end up in arm triangle choke. He end up passing.
No arm triangle, brother. Only guillotine, brother.
Triangle choke, passing to submission move. But he's going to submit him. At plus 125, I saw. I'm going to love it. I'm going to put all 2,000 of my dollars on Islam by submission plus 125. And, Dan, you think that making a shitload of bets is the answer.
Bro, how many bets did you make last weekend? You're like, every time I looked at your card, it was like, oh, I'm adding this. I'm
the only sniper. I'm the only sniper.
Left and right. You're hedging on this, hedging on that, hedging on this.
Yeah. I don't have to look at
I'm
your
the
card
only sniper.
I looked at your card after the first fight. Everything was gone. Your whole village was burned, and I never.
It's a competition, so you're supposed to look at people's cards.
Look, if Angela Hill, hey, pause. If Angela Hill didn't save your life, you would have put none of those other bets in. That, and
I put them in before, you dumb fuck. I put them in way before. The fight with Usyk took place at 6 p.m. I put it in way before. So you don't know what you're talking about. And I can show you with timestamps. But anyway, I have the bets timestamped. I can show that to you. I don't even need to worry about it.
I don't want to see it, actually.
Usyk fought at 6 p.m. Angela Hill was like Anyway, here's the thing, Dan. I put in my perfect parlay. Okay,
I'm talking about the solo bet on Chaos Williams, the solo bet on Edson Barboza,
Other than my perfect parlay, I put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bets. The 9 bets, as you said, were $700. So but the only reason that it was that much is because I had one that was a big ass bet that were my 4 most confident picks at the best value, and the only one that lost there was Pinheiro, which I won on her opponent Hill. Then I had the $100 bet that the only one who lost was Pinheiro. I had the $50 bet where the only one who lost was Rodriguez. That was
nobody cares. Nobody cares about the mathematics.
And then I had
we're losing fans.
Dan, Luke spends way too much time doing this. Where he's like, and I could have done this, but then this happened.
We can all look at the sheet. We can all look at the sheet. Everyone can see if they want to see. Okay, no one cares about the math. That being said, I think Dagestan is a backwards region. I think that I'm not afraid to say it. Okay, I'm the modern day Christopher Hitchens. Okay, Dagestan is a backwards region. I don't respect it at all. Camera on me. I'm gonna go with Dustin Poirier because guess what? We got an overrated fighter in here. He beat up on a guy who was down a weight class, who took the fight on like 3 seconds notice and tried to go into a balls out striking blood and guts war with this guy and got knocked out. Oh, okay. Yeah. Big deal. Big deal. He's the littler guy. Hey, try bullying Dustin Poirier. It's not going to happen. You're going to get knocked out, but your hubris because you think you're such a big old tough guy coming from this big old tough region that you're going to come in here and knock out an American champion. You're not going to do that. Okay? Dustin Poirier is coming in there with blood and guts. He's not going to guillotine you. He's not even going to try to. He's going to try and knock you out. He's not even going to try because he's going to be successful. That left hand is coming across your chin. Islam. That's all I got to say. He's going to win. Dustin Poirier, knockout. Not impressed with Dagestan. Sorry. It's not that cool of a place. It's backwards.
No, it's a lame place, if you ask me, for sure. But I don't think it's
nice
backwards.
It's backwards.
I won't go as far as to say that, my friend.
Well, what I'm going to do is this.
I'll do the rest of the show from here. Backwards.
I got news for you.
That means yay.
I got a master plan here. Alex, you asked what my bank robbery performance is going to be. By July 1st, we're going to have turned the $1,000 into $10,000. Okay, how are we going to do it? It's
good luck.
From here.
How are we going to do it? You are going to sign up for patreon.com/Perfect Parlay Pursuit, and you are going to look at the open bet sheet where Luke will give you his open bet sheet. He has turned $1,000 into $2,036.83 in only 2 weeks of fights, guys. That is only 24 fights at most, and Luke has turned $1,000 into double and then some, and then a Taco Bell order, a 12-pack of tacos, maybe a 12-pack of Doritos Locos tacos even. But if you want to find out how Luke is going to turn that $2,000 into $10,000 this weekend, you'll go to patreon.com/Perfect Parlay Pursuit. And then you were just doxing your whole entire family all night tonight, right?
No. So we got, I got a master plan. It's a 3-step process.
Dan, don't put your head and look at the camera. It looks like you have like a little tiny birthday hat on.
3 bets to turn this 2,000 into 10,000. 3 bets to turn 2 to 10. 3 to turn 2 to 10. That's the plan. 3 to 2 to 10. 3 to 2 to 10. 3 to 2 to 10. 3 for 2 to 10. 3 bets to turn 2,000 into $10,000. And then we are just going to wait to turn 10 to 20, 20 to 40, 40 to 80.
Please do this plan. Please execute this plan. I can't wait to be back in the lead. This is going to be awesome.
I cannot wait until Luke tries to rob a bank. He is going to have such a big bankroll, and he's going to say,
finest hour. This will be my finest hour. This will be my masterpiece. I've waited my whole life to be able to paint my masterpiece, and I'm gonna do it this year, and you will all bear witness. I can't wait. It's gonna be great, and I'm gonna do it drunk. As Chael Sonnen says, anybody can train, prepare. It takes a real man to just show up when his balls are on the line, when his back's against the wall, like a true.
And that's why I get drunk to train every time, because whenever I'm going to get in a fight, it's probably going to be at a bar. It's probably going to be at a UFC event. Ian Gary sees me in public, says, "Hey, I appreciate the fact that you stood up for me all the time, but Joaquin Buckley's over there and he wants to fight you. Could you handle him for me?" I'm going to have to oblige him. Of course, although I love Joaquin Buckley, I don't know why he would ever want to fight me. But, I would oblige him.
My full pick is top to bottom. If you're going with me, it's Islam Makhachev by submission. It's father's plan. Anything else is it's that. It's that. And it's only that. And if he wants to fuck around and bludgeon Dustin Poirier to death, just know that father is going to go from heaven to hell if that happens, okay? Because that is disrespectful. Paulo Costa.
See you down there, buddy. See you down there.
Or reverse. Maybe he's going from hell to heaven for blessing Dustin Poirier because he never really liked Islam.
Islam hurts Dustin. Father will be punished. And
okay.
he must treat Dustin with care.
Oh, that's not what I thought you said. I thought you said
No,
Dustin's
Dustin's a hillbilly. Dustin's a hillbilly with a pencil neck and a pea head, and he's gonna get it popped off. It's gonna get popped like a pimple. The only question is, will Islam make his eyes pop out of his head, or will he just be merciful and let go? You know what I mean? But one way or another, Dustin Poirier is getting choked out. His fake black belt's getting ripped off of him and spanking him with it. You're gonna spank him right there in New Jersey. Okay. Islam Makhachev by submission. Paulo Costa, Kevin Holland, Alexander Romanov, Randy Brown, Roman Kopylov, Grant Joe Selecki. I'm kidding, everybody. Joe Selecki, Trophy certified. Jake Matthews, Alexander Morono, Basil Hafez, and we're writing that one in blood. Jocelyn Edwards and Andre Lima, the bitten one.
I'm not going to read my picks because I think that's stupid. You should have watched the episode. And if you want
I need to know what your first pick of the night was, and you went with Costa and you went with Poirier. Okay, so I just need to know what your first pick of the night was. Raposo or
Lima.
Okay, Alex.
But for all you real ones out there, go to the Patreon. That's where the picks are.
I'm putting them in there right now. Everybody.
Or watch this episode.
Alex,
if Dan's not giving his picks, I'm not giving mine.
Give your pick. Alex, come on.
No, people don't want this, okay? Watch the episode. Go on to the Patreon.
All right, well, I need to know.
Actually, Dan, if you look at you looked at the comments for 1 second, all they want is timestamps. All they want is quick picks. All they want is to know the picks only, and they don't want no banter.
For me,
they just want what we think.
It's for when I have to look back and see who we picked.
No. People who watch this show, you know what they want, Luke? They want you to reaffirm the belief that they already had before they watched the show. They don't want to be convinced. They already have their mind made, and then they're like, Dan's a genius. He took Carlton Almeida this week, you know? And then all of a sudden it's like, Luke is a racist because he doesn't even like Romanoff. What the hell is he talking about?
Yeah, that's for real.
I can at least give the PvP certified picks. Randy Brown, Joe Selecki, Alex Morono, Basil Hafez. Unless Alex went with Andre Lima, did you?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so Andre Lima, Basil Hafez, Alexander Morono, Joe Selecki, Randy Brown, and Alexander Romanov. And
Andre Lima.
And that's it. So do the puzzle piece math to figure out who these guys picked, or just watch the episode, or just go to the open bets sheet, patreon.com/PurplePlayPursuit. Not financial advice, entertainment purposes only. We love you. Don't commit gambling. Do not gamble. It is against the Bible.
Don't gamble.
Haram. Do not gamble. It is haram. We do not gamble. We do not gamble. Gambling is bad. Guys, we love you so much.
I don't believe it's haram. I'm a Christian, but go ahead. What's up?
If you watch this episode this long, you got to get in there for the Patreon. You got to get in there for the full year. We need the money. We're down bad. We need money. $100. Give the boys the money. Thank you very much. We love you. Alex, Dan, thanks for joining the episode. Thanks for joining the show. 2 hours, 13 minutes, 10 o'clock p.m. on a Monday night. We love you guys. Thank you so much. That's the end of the episode.
Bye.
Enjoy this weekend's non-fights. You know, yeah. We love you.
Bye.